the elder returning from overseas to visit Hangzhou. She said that compared to the fighting and killing overseas, this place is practically paradise. At the same time, she informed Hanno that upon returning, the ancestor led all the disciples and completely eradicated the remnants of the Holy Overcoat Church, even plundering all their wealth. Hanno thought to himself, this is great, now I can focus on my cultivation and seclusion. At this moment, Hanju heard a familiar voice saying, I'm back. Turning towards the voice, he saw that it was the ancestor himself visiting with Sushi, who was currently massaging his shoulders. The ancestor seemed quite pleased. I just returned from overseas and brought back many treasures to enhance the spiritual energy of the cave. I will instruct the disciples to plant them later. Your disciple has excellent potential. How about I take him abroad next time for some experience? What do you think? Hanju was speechless. Hanging around with an unlucky ancestor is truly playing with death. The Nine Cauldron sage turned around and asked, boy, what do you think? I wonder. In order to accompany this old master abroad to cultivate, his intention was to ease Hanno's burden by being a teacher. Unaware of how harsh Suijin's nature was, Hanju helplessly informed the ancestor. This boy has secrets that cannot be revealed. You really can't take him away. Sui, quite smartly realizing that the ancestor actually wanted to take a junior disciple and needed Hanju's approval, realized that Hanju's status within the sect was not simple. One should not switch sides easily. It is better to cling to this great thigh of my master, concentrate on cultivation. Therefore, Sushi thanked the ancestor for his kindness, but expressed, I wish to continue my cultivation with my master and protect the pure Jade sect. The ancestor laughed, as a master, as a disciple, very well then. Hanu thought to himself, I am saving your life here, the sage of the Nine Cauldrons declared. I have already searched the entire Great Swallow cultivation world. Now there are no sects that dare to target the pure Jade sect. You can cultivate in peace. On this trip, I discovered an ancient forbidden area with abundant resources. This place was discovered not long ago and may contain many treasures. Would you like to take a look? Hanzhou thought to himself, ancient forbidden area. Just hearing it doesn't sound like a place to stroll around. Wait, isn't that the forbidden land where Jofen fell? There has been no news of Zan since then. Therefore, he refused the ancestor's offer. Let other disciples have this opportunity, the ancestor said slowly. I knew you would say that. There is another matter. In no more than 20 years, I will have to set out for the opening of the immortal heavenly mansion. I plan to enter the mansion to seek the Tao. Would you like to come with me? Let me tell you. This immortal heavenly mansion is extraordinary. It appears every 100 years in disciples who ascend to immortality. To Hanju's surprise, the ancestor produced the immortal heavenly mansion, the same one that Shunxingjuan wanted to give her. I didn't realize that the immortal heavenly mansion was so prestigious that even an 8th level of the integration realm wants to join. However, because Han's ambition lay elsewhere, he declined the ancestor's generous offer. As he bid farewell to the ancestor, Hanju thought, after being served sushi for half a day, I'm afraid you won't be able to avoid bad luck. 10 years later, the ancestor's bad luck really arrived. He was attacked by inner demons during his cultivation, reducing his cultivation by 100 years, while Xianqin Jun died but was revived by a powerful being with his body remade. At this time, Han Ju, who had reached the 6th level of the spiritual transformation realm, could now fight the ancestor in the system for half an hour. With Sushi cultivating in the cave, his bad luck seemed to grow stronger. Fortunately, the chaotic heavenly hound, being a creature of good fortune, managed to keep the chicken safe. The family inside the cave lived harmoniously. Hearing that Xing Hongxian had also returned to the sect, Hanju wanted to see her. Upon knocking on Xing Hongchuan's door, Hanju was greeted with a refreshing sight. Xing Hongxian took his arm to show him a large treasure trove inside the cave. Xing Hongxian showed Hanzhou a collection of items obtained from the ancient forbidden land a few years ago. Hanju thought, I appreciate Xing Hongchuan's intentions, but these treasures seem quite ordinary. Well, it's to be expected with her cultivation level. It would be difficult to obtain high-quality treasures. Suddenly, whose spiritual sense detected a faint divine consciousness emanating from an item resembling a spirit tablet. He began to study it more closely. Indeed, a man absorbed in serious work is very attractive at this moment. Xian Hongxian found himself lusting after Han Ju's body all of a sudden. Whose spiritual sense was attracted, and he saw an imposing divine soul before him. The divine soul told Hanju, secret technique, celestial puppet. Celestial is created from spiritual power. Its strength depends on the creator's cultivation level. The celestial puppet does not fight automatically, it requires the creator to control it with a thread of soul consciousness. If the celestial puppet is destroyed, it will not affect the creator. However, the disadvantage is that the celestial puppet is not durable. Once its spiritual power is exhausted, it will become inactive until the next time spiritual power is infused, restoring its mobility. This is just a creation from pure spiritual power. If heavenly materials and earthly treasures are added during manufacturing, its toughness will increase and its strength will surpass that of the creator. Since you don't need to breathe, you can create a fixed number of heavenly puppets, and store them in a storage ring as a reserve. Hanu thought, wouldn't that be like having a bunch of cloned fighters? Then the divine soul told Hanu again, using the best materials in the world and supreme spiritual power to refine the final heavenly puppet, its power can rival that of an immortal emperor. As the voice faded, the appearance of the giant divine soul became clearer. Hanju was shocked. The demon god looked incredibly similar to the Gundam. In an instant, whose spiritual sense was transmitted back to reality. Opening his eyes, he saw Xing Hongxian straddling him, having removed most of his clothes. Hang jumped off the bed as if he had been caught off guard, thinking to himself, good thing my reactions were quick, otherwise my centuries of celibacy would have been ruined. After tidying up his clothes, Hanju said to Xing Hongxian, I'll take this tablet to study it further. I'll come back another day. Hearing that Hanju would be returning, Xing Hongxian understood that his previous actions had not displeased him. It seems there is hope for us to become cultivation partners after all. Back in his cave, Hanju continued to delve into the method of creating puppets. It was truly a technique from the ancient Forbidden Land. The celestial puppet technique was truly extraordinary. Under normal circumstances, it was difficult for spiritual power to materialize, much less create a puppet. However, the celestial puppet technique could achieve this. The secret technique of splitting one's soul consciousness was also quite rare, essentially like having an extra pair of eyes, allowing for shared vision with the puppet. Thinking about this, he considered, I could make one for each of them, in case they encounter danger outside. The celestial puppet could save their lives. Even if the puppet couldn't overcome the threat, sharing its location could allow for a timely rescue. 2 years later, Hanzhou finally created the first puppet. He teleported to Xinghongquan Cave. She was still cultivating and was startled by Hu's sudden appearance, but upon seeing that it was Hanju, her face lit up with joy again. Hanju directly took out the celestial puppet. Miss Xing, this doll is for you. It can be stored in a storage ring. You should take it with you wherever you go. In critical moments, it can save your life. Xing Hongshan was delighted and examined the celestial doll with satisfaction. Wow, it looks just like my husband. The following year, Hanzhou created 2 more celestial dolls. Hanju gave the 2 celestial dolls to Shango and Shirshan Fairy respectively. In the blink of an eye, 3 years passed. Hanju suddenly received a system notification. You are now 200 years old. You chose to cultivate with discretion and obtained a spiritual treasure. The Frost Lord's Glass Crown, 4th rank. It can reflect all attacks below the integration realm, excluding special divine abilities and effectively defending against impacts on the soul and spiritual sense. Another offensive spiritual treasure, the system knows my heart well. From now on, Hanju, from head to toe, is armed with spiritual treasures to the extreme. The spiritual transformation realm cannot possibly harm me. Another 5 years passed. The 9 Cauldron Sage took a group of disciples and left for overseas. Before he left, Changgu came to bid farewell. Oh my junior brother, without you, how can I live? It took Hanju half a day to bid farewell to this tearful senior sister. After the 9 Cauldron Sage left, Hanju used the simulation trial to check the highest cultivation level within the pure Jade sect other than himself. The system notified that the current strongest person in the sect is Li Qianlong, at the 5th level of the spiritual transformation realm, the heir to the Poison King. Hanju had a peculiar expression, thinking that the name Li Qianlong sounded very familiar to him, as if he had heard it somewhere before, more than 100 years ago. Mao invited him to seek opportunities, and it seemed that they were looking for the cave of Li Qianlong, who was supposedly dead at that time. However, having the cultivation of the 5th level of the spiritual transformation realm in the vast whirlpool cultivation world was considered extremely high. If he was really alive, it would definitely cause a huge commotion, but Han had never heard his people mention him, indicating that Li Qianlong had infiltrated the pure Jade sect. Hanju immediately searched for Li Qianlong's location. Li Qianlong was actually on the main peak at this moment. Master Jingu had gathered all the disciples of the main peak to announce the departure of the Sage of the 9 Boilers. Li Qianlong had an ordinary appearance, and his aura was suppressed at the 1st level of the Golden Core realm, appearing very humble. Who would have thought he was the heir to the Poison King? Li Qianlong was overjoyed to hear that the 9 Boiler Sage had gone abroad, feeling like he finally had his chance. With the 9 Cauldron Sage present, he didn't dare to act rashly. But now that the 9 Cauldron Sage had left, he finally felt the clouds dissipate to reveal the sun. Keep calm, there is still someone who can hinder me, the most mysterious person in the Jadapura sect. The ancient god killer. Meanwhile, in the ancient forbidden land, Shan knelt on the ground, refusing to get up. I, Shan, must accept my fate like this? No, my destiny is mine to control, not destined by the heavens. And so, 5 years passed. Hanju advanced to the 7th level of the spiritual transformation realm, getting closer and closer to the void fusion realm. Hanju checked the relationships section. Interpersonal aspects of your system. His cultivation partner, Shin Chin-jun, had a life epiphany and understood a divine ability. Your friend Mafu has fallen into the demonic path. The 9 Cauldron Sage was attacked by a demon king and was seriously injured, damaging his javelin. Joanne achieved a powerful body, surprising the world. Hanjo was stunned. So many things have happened in these 5 years. Did Mafu really fall into the demonic path? What did he encounter? The 9 Cauldron Sage is truly miserable, but he deserves it for always seeking disaster. And Joanne, good job. Hanju took a deep breath, feeling that he couldn't relax. My cultivation level in the vast whirlpool cultivation world might already be at its peak, but that doesn't mean it will stay that way in the future. I still need to cultivate diligently. Thus, Hanju decided to devote himself to the void fusion realm to his utmost. In the blink of an eye, another 10 years passed. Ranju's cultivation level had reached the 8th level of the spiritual transformation realm. One day, Ling came to visit to prevent Sushi from bringing bad luck to Ling. Hanju came out of his cave and said, "Please, leader, stop. Let's talk somewhere else." Langzhe greeted him warmly. "Elder Han, it's been a long time since we met. How is your cultivation going now?" He was beaming with success. With the help of the 9 Cauldron Sage, his cultivation level had reached the core soul realm. In addition to his cultivation, he was also the leader of the righteous path in the vast cultivation world of the Great Whirlpool. Over the years, Hanjo had not seen him attacked by anyone. Hanjo asked with a smile, "Sect leader, what brings you here?" The sect leader said, "The cultivation conference organized by the righteous path is about to begin. This time, the conference will be held in the capital of the Great Swallow Dynasty. Participating can gain the luck of the human race, which is beneficial to cultivation. Elder Han, will you go to the cultivation conference? It seems that trouble is looming." "I won't go. After all, with our ancestor gone, other forces should be aware by now." "You understand what I mean. I knew you would say that. You are missing a great opportunity. Wait until I bring back that luck. You will be envious," Hanju asked. "By the way, sect leader, what is your opinion of Li Chanlan?" The sect leader said. "How did you come to know about the Li Chan Wang Scourge? He was once my junior brother, a rare genius in the pure jade sect for 100 years. However, he and Zhang both took an interest in Shanfrei. The two of them fought a life-and-death battle, forcing our master to intervene. But Li Qianlong, unrepentant, dared to attack our master Stee. Fortunately, I intervened in time to prevent a huge mistake. He was punished, his meridians were cut, and he was locked in the cliff of reflection for introspection. But he escaped. Before he left a letter saying that he would return one day to overthrow the pure jade sect." Hanju commented, "Master is indeed a woman with heavy karma. No wonder Master forbids disciples of the Jade Seclusion Peak from falling in love." Luchin Di asked, "But why did you suddenly mention him?" Hanju said, "Some time ago, I met someone in the inner city, who claimed to be Li Shanlan's disciple, recruiting people. I was also invited, but recently, when I wanted to meet him, he disappeared." Luchin Gui exclaimed, "What? He's already here? What is he planning with the recruitment?" Hanu recalled. "He said he caught a fish and found a note in its stomach, something about great ascending Chu, old Chinese man, or something like that. I didn't pay much attention afterwards, but it seemed like he was hinting at something," Li Xinji guessed. "Great ascending Shu, he wants to overthrow the pure jade sect," Lu Xing advised. "Elder Han, you must catch him and be careful of his strength. Don't kill him. I need to inform the other brothers and sisters to be more vigilant." After Leng Shai left, the system again displayed a notification. "Congratulations on obtaining the exceptional spiritual treasure, the Book of Misfortune." Misfortune is an exceptional spiritual treasure. He can curse beings to bring misfortune upon them without them realizing it. Seeing this, Hanju was shocked. Was a summoning treasure ever so important? Hanju returned to her cave, took out the Book of Misfortune and said, "True to its name, just by looking at it you know this is no good luck charm. All these seals on him, this is piling murders on top of a curse. Scary. Can he really spread misfortune and curse others like Sooty did?" Sooty looked at the Book of Misfortune in Rahu's hands. "This looks strangely familiar." "What did you say?" Nothing. My apologies. I didn't want to disturb the senior." "Do misfortunes recognize each other?" "Interesting. If it's from the system, it must be a good product." The Book of Misfortune. would curse enemies to death. I must try it with him. Let's start by tying it with my blood. As the blood fell and the seal was lifted, a strong aura of misfortune spread. Hanu thought, who wants to try it? Xia is a major enemy, but no, he is more powerful than me. It may have no effect at all, despite the system claiming that the curse will not be noticed by others. It seems unreliable. Let's aim for him then. At the same level, he can't beat me, especially since he's trying to bring down the already pure sect. He remembered Li Qianlong. Li Qianlong, if it weren't for you, our Jade Seclusion Peak could have been a place of love and affection. On the other side, Li Qianlong was kneeling at the entrance of a bamboo house, solemnly saying, "Master, please come out of retirement." A voice from within the bamboo house replied, "I have already left the mortal world and will no longer involve myself in the disputes of the cultivation world. You should seek your own revenge. I have already passed on all my teachings to you. Don't be greedy." Li Qianlong, unwilling to give up, pleaded, "Then, please pass me the poison god pill." The voice replied, "No. And if you use it to poison me, I would be in the wrong." Li Qianlong thought to himself, "Damn it, he's holding it in. The Nine Cauldron Sage has already sensed my existence, so I can't rashly offend him. However, if you are determined to seek revenge, you can go to the Wei family of the Great Whirlpool. The Wei family has extensive connections and is well known in the cultivation world of the Great Whirlpool. You understand what I mean?" Li Qianlong said, "I understand, thank you, master." In his heart, Li Qianlong resented this old man. "I have been his lab rat for so many years, promised to be the sole heir to the Poison King, but he still hasn't fully taught me his skills. Just you wait, when the time comes." Lightning struck Li Qianlong and he cursed. How sinister. Meanwhile, Hanju was studying the Book of Misfortune. "I have been cursing for so long and there seems to be no reaction. It couldn't be fake, could it?" A month later, Yan Qingdong returned and said to Han, "Master, I live up to your expectations. I have become a core disciple. The heartless sword technique you taught me is truly powerful. Many could not withstand a single blow. Master, I plan to participate in a cultivation conference to represent the already pure sect. In the martial arts competition. Could you teach me another move?" Sushi walked over. "Could you be the senior brother Yang Tandong mentioned by the predecessor? Nice to meet you." Hanju quickly pushed Yang Tandong away. Yang Tandong was on the verge of tears. "Master is opposing me going to the cultivation conference?" Hanju thought to himself. "I'm afraid that you will be infected by misfortune." 5 years later, Hanju reached the full completion of the spiritual transformation realm and thought, "It's time for a breakthrough. Once I enter the integration realm, the efficiency of absorbing spiritual energy from heaven and earth will at least triple. However, this means that the others in the cave will not be able to absorb spiritual energy, which is unfair to Sushi. But the problem is that besides staying in a cave, there is no other place to accommodate him. Keeping him in the cave all the time is not a long-term solution. What should I do in the future?" Hanjo called Sut, and said, "Sui, come here, I have something to tell you." Sui asked, "Senior, what is it?" Hanju said, "You have been in the pure sect for many years and have started on the path of cultivation. I have a task for you. If you can complete it, I will take you as my direct disciple." Sui said happily, "Senior, what is the task?" "Sui will not let you down. I want you to go to the northern province and join the monster taming sect. Just focus on cultivating secretly." Sui exclaimed in shock. "Destroy a sect? Senior is that powerful? Disciple will definitely complete the task." Anju instructed, "This is a secret mission. Don't tell anyone in the Pure Jade sect about this. Go quickly." After leaving the innate cave, sunlight shone on Sui. He couldn't help but feel as if he was in a different world. "After so many years, I didn't expect Senior to actually let me out. It feels so unreal. I thought that I needed to surpass Senior in cultivation to leave, and I was prepared to never leave yet. My entire life I must complete the master's test." Suddenly, Sui remembered. "Wait, where is the northern province?" 2 years later, whose cultivation finally reached the full completion of the spiritual transformation realm. He excitedly opened the system's interpersonal relationship panel to see what had happened in these 2 years. His disciple Yang Tandong was attacked by a demon king and seriously injured. His disciple Yang Tandong obtained an opportunity and awakened the demon saint's bloodline. His divine beast, the chaotic heavenly hound, made a mistake in its cultivation, resulting in a 20-year regression in its cultivation journey. His friend Malti was attacked by righteous path cultivators 104 times. His friend Shan Yuri accidentally obtained an opportunity and her cultivation increased greatly. His disciple Sushi was attacked by demonic cultivators 27 times. His disciple Sushi was captured by the Blue Ghost sect. His disciple Sushi spread bad luck, causing the Blue Ghost sect to face a heavenly tribulation that happens once every hundreds of years, resulting in the destruction of the sect. Han Ju was stunned by what he read, exclaiming in his mind, "Incredible. Truly the scourge of the heavenly court. Absolutely a nuclear bomb." A few days later, outside the demonic beast pavilion, Master Jingu said to dozens of disciples, "From today onwards, all disciples are forbidden from entering the Thousand Demon Realm until further notice." A disciple from the main peak couldn't help but ask, "Master, what's going on in the Thousand Demon Realm?" The disciples were all curious. Han Ju turned his head to express his gratitude to the real Jingu. "Thank you, Master Jingu. I don't know how long I'll need to stay in the Thousand Demon Realm." Han Ju activated teleportation and headed straight for the Thousand Demon Realm. Crossing his spiritual transformation was only 100 years ago, and he reached the Void Fusion Realm when he was just over 200 years old. Even the Nine Cauldron Sage, who was once hailed as the greatest genius in the Great Whirlpool cultivation world, took over 1,000 years to reach the Void Fusion Realm. A disciple asked, "Master, what's going on in the Thousand Demon Realm?" "The God Slayer God is crossing the tribulation in the Thousand Demon Realm. This matter must not be disclosed. Just say that the Thousand Demon Realm is facing a natural disaster." Hearing this, the disciples discussed non-stop, very excited. On the other side, within the Thousand Demon Realm, a powerful heavenly tribulation shook the entire Thousand Demon Realm. When the last thunder tribulation descended, Hanju finally endured the heavenly tribulation and advanced to the Void Fusion Realm as a great cultivator. Congratulations on advancing to the Void Fusion Realm and obtaining an innate spirit treasure. The innate spirit treasure will fuse with your soul and recognize you for life. As you become stronger, the innate spirit treasure will also strengthen. You have the following options for the innate spirit treasure: 1 sword, 2 defenses. Hanju, already possessing defensive type spirit treasures, naturally chose the sword. Since he is a sword cultivator, the system congratulated again. Congratulations on obtaining the Sword of Primordial Judgment. The Sword of Primordial Judgment. Because you were not reborn in a conventional way, but traveled through the primordial chaos to arrive in this world, the primordial energy in your body has been refined into your innate spirit treasure. Hanju was stunned. Primordial chaos? Is it the primordial chaos from prehistoric novels? The system did not respond. Hanjo opened the attribute panel and found that his longevity had increased to 8,940 years. Hanju also noticed the addition of the mortal renunciation stage to his human identity. Is this a hint of becoming an immortal? Hanju was experiencing the Void Fusion Realm, feeling a difference from the spiritual transformation realm. Her divine sense could extend 100 miles. Why is Elder Guan here? At this moment, Giang was tracking Hanjo's aura. The after effects of the thunder tribulation had yet to dissipate. I wonder where the god-slaying god is consolidating his cultivation. He suddenly appeared behind Zhang on a tree. Who are you looking for? Zhang turned his head, his face slightly wrinkled as he saw Han's unstoppable visage. Is that the god-slaying god? So handsome. Hanju's face darkened. You're looking for me exactly, god-slaying god. I'm Guan. We had an agreement. I challenge you. If I win, I will be the sect leader from the beginning. Have you forgotten, god-slayer of gods? Hanju suddenly remembered his master's instructions. I came to find you, hoping that you could help me suppress Elder Guan. Hanju was furious. Of all the times, you choose now to appear. Zhang quickly stepped forward. So you agreed? Good, godslayer of gods. My divine ability is very powerful. Hang in there. Meanwhile, he thought to himself, I will use my newly learned divine ability to finish him off in a second. Then perhaps Sister Zixin will see me in a different light. He released an unstoppable divine skill that deals true damage by nature. It has a devastating effect and can shatter both the soul and body upon impact. Hanjo thought to himself, it's been a while since I used this move, Supreme Divine Sword. In an instant, a sword energy 100 times greater than Guang's divine ability exploded. Jiang was petrified in shock. What is this? It's so huge. Then he was sent flying away. I couldn't even withstand one of his swords. If he hadn't changed the direction of the sword energy, I would have turned to dust. This is too monstrous. No wonder Junior fixated on him. My heart hurts, it hurts so much, to think that I expected to defeat him with a single move. Hanjo smiled lightly. Elder Guan, you are indeed very strong. It's just that you chose the wrong opponent in an already pure sect. Now you are the only one worth my effort. Don't be discouraged. With you, the pure Jade sect has a future. Hearing this, Guang's face turned red with excitement. How strong are you, after all? At this moment, the system intervened. Giang's affection for you. Hanju interrupted. Immediately. Shut up. 3 years later, Hanzhou returned to his own peak and suddenly had an idea. He raised his right hand and the earth rose rapidly, solidifying into a stone tablet. Using his finger as a pen, Hanzhou inscribed 4 characters on the tablet. Cultivation leads to immortality. This will be the name of this mountain from now on. The chicken and the dog also noticed that their master's aura was stronger than before. Is master's aura that powerful? Could it be that he evolved again? Of course. Who do you think our master is? Hanzhou was overjoyed upon hearing this. That's right, the spirits I created are so aligned with my heart. You're right about the evolution that just occurred. In the mock trial, I finally defeated the Sage of the 9 Cauldrons thanks to the Sword of Primordial Judgment, releasing all of its divine power. Even though it took a long time, I managed to defeat the Sage of the 9 Cauldrons at the 8th level of the Integration Realm. Then, Shawa, at the 2nd level of the Integration Realm, is even less of a concern at this point. The system displayed a list of relationships again. Your disciple Sushi has been attacked by ghost cultivators 12 times. Your disciple Sushi has killed tens of thousands of beings, increasing his karma. Your friend Qing has been attacked by demonic cultivators 58 times. Your friend Qin Gui has been attacked by righteous path cultivators 44 times. Your friend Qin Gui is seriously injured and on the verge of death. Your cultivation partner, Xinqing Jun, has left the moral world. Fu has been killing many, accumulating immense karma. Your friend Xing Hongxian has accidentally entered an ancient and great cultivator secret. Her fate is unknown. Hanzhou thought, the cultivation world has been quite hectic lately, with the 9 Cauldron Sage supporting the Pure Jade group. We no longer need to be as repressed as before. What about the other sects? Could there be other ancestors in existence? No, the integration realm is still not enough. I must continue cultivating and enter the union realm as soon as possible. 2 years later, Li Qingyi came to visit again, looking as miserable as she used to decades ago. Sect leader Zhu, can't you just cultivate in peace for a few hundred years? Leng Zhe said in embarrassment. Elder Han, we're in big trouble. The righteous and demonic paths of the Great Swallowing are joining forces to attack our Pure Jade sect. Those bastards claim that one of our core disciples has fallen to the demonic path. I went to apologize in person, but they attacked me. The disciple they're talking about is the Mafu you know. I suspect that someone is framing the Pure Jade sect, trying to take advantage of the situation. What exactly happened to Mafu? Mafu's family was originally a family of cultivators, and his name wasn't Mafu Shu back then. But not long after, someone from his family collaborated with the demonic path, and the entire family was annihilated by the righteous path, leaving only Mafu and Mal alive. The brothers depended on each other and wandered the moral realm for years until they reached the Pure Jadia compound, where Daily took them in as disciples and gave them their names. From now on, your name is Mafu, in the hope that you can forget your hatred and start anew. However, he could not let go. Once, during an outing, he encountered his old enemies, killed many disciples from that group, and then went to attack disciples from other righteous paths involved in the incident, resulting in more than 5 paths hunting him down. Driven to despair, Mafu had to use his family's divine ability, which contained demonic thoughts, leading him straight to the demonic path. Relying on this divine ability, he killed more and more, completely becoming a demon who was unable to turn back. Hanzhou frowned. But Mafuchu isn't that kind. He's humble and wouldn't go to extreme measures. Silly Xingyi. I thought so too. This entire situation is too suspicious. Those groups didn't even interrogate us. They went straight after Mafu. If he was being manipulated, I intended to mediate, but they attacked me instead. Clearly, they were looking for an excuse to start a war. Have you ever seen a matter of a junior turn into one involving sect leaders? Now, with the righteous and demonic paths surrounding us, but the ancestors gone, we could have held out with you. And Guk Gun, but Gu Young is seriously injured for some reason and hasn't recovered. It seems like we have no choice but to flee. Han Ju said, advising Li Qingyi not to panic. He asked, the righteous and demonic paths have cultivators at the integration or union realm. Li Qingui replied, impossible. Previously, Wang Zuantian had the strength of the 9th level of the spirit transformation realm and was already domineering in the Great Swallowing. If they had cultivators at that level, they would have already wiped out the Holy Cloak Church long ago. Anju then asked, someone like the ancestor of the Pure Jade sect, who went out to cultivate and seek opportunities? Li Qingyi replied, I'm not very clear on this. When our ancestor went from door to door back then, each of them was as docile as a grandchild. At least I haven't heard of any existences in the integration realm in the Great Swallowing. Hanzhou smiled upon hearing this, feeling at ease. Li Qingyi said, Elder Han, please prepare within 3 days at most. I will lead the Pure Jade sect to seek refuge overseas with our ancestor. He replied with a smile. Why run? I didn't think of running away. Why are you so confident? Let them come. They will realize that the most fearsome aspect of the Pure Jade sect might not necessarily be the ancestor. Understanding whose implication, Lingzi asked excitedly, what realm are you in now? Hanju casually replied, at least not lower than the ancestor. A year later, outside the Pure Jade sect, 2 disciples were discussing the 19th path approach and contemplating whether they should flee. One disciple pointed at an approaching figure and said, it's Hang Jiha from the Vermilion Bird Sword sect. The other disciple exclaimed, the Vermilion Bird Sword sect is attacking Ron. Without thinking any further, the 2 turned and ran, leaving Hang Jiha dumbfounded. Suddenly, a voice came from behind him. Why are you here again? Wasn't the last beating enough? Recognizing the voice of the god-slaying elder, Wang Jiha, Hang Jiha quickly said, fellow Taoist, please don't be rash. I'm just here to visit and have no ill intentions towards the Pure Jade sect. Wang Jiha explained, recently, some people want to unite the righteous and demonic paths to deal with the Pure Jade sect. The Vermilion Bird Sword sect sent me to ask if the Pure Jade sect needs any help. Hanju replied coldly, there is no need. No matter how many come, you will all die. Han Jiha was shocked by Hu's response, such arrogance, truly befitting the god-slaying elder. Hanju changed the subject, suggesting that the situation was suspicious and possibly instigated by someone. If you can find out who is behind this, I wouldn't mind forming an alliance with your sect leader, Hanju said. Hearing Hanju's willingness to form an alliance, Wang Jiha was both shocked and pleased. The god-slaying elder is willing to face the 19th path approach alone, coming here to inform the Pure Jade sect, even at the risk of offending the 19th path approach. The alliance is truly worth it, he thought. The system notified. Wang Jiha's favorability towards you has increased to 4 stars. Hanju thought to himself. Does this guy have inappropriate thoughts about me? In a landscape of mountains and rivers, a pavilion stands in the middle of a lake. Li Qianlong of the Wei family knelt at the end, inviting a powerful individual to come forward. Whatever conditions you have, we will fulfill them, he said. A person slowly walked out, smiling. Oh, anything is possible, he agreed. Meanwhile, in an ancient secret realm, Xing Hongxian admired the ancient secret techniques on the wall, thinking, if I copy these back to my husband, he will be very happy. She looked fondly at an Onu doll, sighing to herself. I wonder if my husband can hear my thoughts. As she was playing with the doll, she suddenly heard footsteps behind her. Xing Hongxian turned around alertly. Who's there? An elderly and wrinkled cultivator slowly walked over. Seeing Xing Hongxian's nervousness, he quickly reassured. Young friend, there's no need to be cautious. I'm just here to understand the techniques. The gray-robed elder ignored Xing Hongxian and sat in front of the wall, staring at the characters and pondering deeply. Xing Hongxian revealed confusion. He doesn't seem to be here for the first time. Could it be that he discovered this wall before me? The atmosphere in the cave became tense. Both parties failed to notice the puppet's eyes flashing with light inside a grotto. Hanju hesitated. Should I have the celestial puppet intervene? But the elder seems harmless. It seems that Xing Hongxian's safety is not a concern for now. But it's best to be cautious with this thought. Hanju continued his cultivation. Suddenly, Hanju unexpectedly received a message. Is this a sound transmission on a jade tablet? He looked at the jade tablet in confusion. Damn, I've never used this before. How does it work? Then, a voice came from the jade tablet. It was Wang Jiha. I found out why the 19th path approach is attacking the Pure Jade sect. It's related to the Wei family. I'm being chased. I'll update you later. Hanju immediately looked for Lane to ask. Sect leader, do you know about the Wei family? Hearing that it was the Wei family, Lu Qinji was a little confused. The Wei family, the Great Swallow, is not very famous. They only have one Nance soul cultivator. But the Wei family is known for producing beautiful women, making marriages all over the place, and even doing business outside of the Great Swallow. Their connections might be quite extensive. Elder Han, are you also interested in a woman? Anju suggested seriously. Is it possible that the Wei family is the mastermind behind this incident? Li Ding was stunned. Ah, that's unlikely. The Wei family doesn't have that ability. And besides, they have maintained good relations with the Pure Jade sect for generations. Hanju Hill. It's just speculation. Having extensive connections really does make many things possible. Another question. Who is the current head of the Wei family? Lane replied. I heard that there was a change in leadership, but the details are unclear. Hanju nodded. Alright, sect leader. Take good care of yourself. If enemies approach, I'm here. Lu Qingui thanked him. Thank you, Elder Han. Hanju lamented. Old grudges have yet to be resolved, and new enmities arise. When will all this end? Hanju took out the Book of Misfortune thinking, if I knew who the mastermind behind this was, it would be easy to deal with it. Now I can't even curse them. Well, at least I'll take it out on them for now. I cursed Xia last week, so it's his turn now. Li Qianlong, I'm really looking forward to receiving good news from the system about you. At this moment, Xia was meditating in a secret chamber, preparing for an evolution, unaware that the curse had silently returned. He was anxious. I'm about to evolve. If I can do it, my chances of success will be even greater. Suddenly, he felt his energy going in reverse, his inner demons taking over him, and without warning, he spat out blood. Instantly, he became disheartened. Gritting his teeth, he cursed. Why is there another problem? At this rate, when will I be able to overthrow the pure Jade sect? He had no choice but to give up on evolving. Enough, it's time. Let's proceed with the plan. In a luxurious palace, dozens of cultivators were seated, mingling together. Li Qianlong slowly walked in. Upon seeing him, the other sect leaders or vice leaders exchanged a few words of greeting. How is your cultivation going, brother? Why don't you join us for some fun? These individuals were leaders or vice leaders of both the righteous path and the demonic path. The righteous and demonic paths gathered to discuss the attack on the pure Jade sect. Li Qianlong declared, the Wei family and I paid a great price to invite an Integration Realm cultivator to help us eradicate the pure Jade sect. Integration Realm, everyone exclaimed. I have already investigated the ancestor of the pure Jade sect, the Sage of the Nine Cauldrons, and he has traveled to distant lands. Now, the strongest of them is only this so-called god-slaying elder. If you join me, the pure Jade sect is doomed, Li Qianlong stated. His words caused the cultivators to look at each other, wondering if they would be next after the pure Jade sect fell. Seeing their hesitation, Li Qianlong reassured, don't worry, this predecessor has his own sect and will leave after the job is done. The Wei family only wants the secret realms of the pure Jade sect and will not participate in any further conflicts. With these words, the mood between the sect leaders eased and they nodded one after another. Li Qianlong thought to himself, idiots! Once the pure Jade sect is destroyed, I will invite the predecessor again to eliminate all of you. At this moment, the spiritual power within Li Qianlong suddenly surged, and he spat out another mouthful of blood. Who is messing with me? He exclaimed. On the other side, Hanju thought that the curse had failed again. Still no return, I cursed in vain in the blink of an eye. But 3 years have passed. Hanju's cultivation had reached the second level of the fused void realm. Hanju checked his relationships and emails to see what interesting events had occurred in the past 3 years. His disciple, Yang Tandong, had become a demon king. His friend Shan had fallen into the demonic path. Hanju couldn't help but exclaim, how did Jofen also fall into the demonic path? What's going on with Thunder Peak? It can't be that betrayal is Thunder Peak's traditional skill. The Peak Master isn't doing well, and the disciples are also suffering. Ju pondered, suddenly feeling the aura of the chaotic dog from the sky. The fat dog was crouching nearby, seeming to have something to say, but hesitating. The dog said nervously, Master, I really can't hold myself back anymore. Can I go out for an adventure? He replied, you are a divine beast. If people find out your identity, it will easily attract their greed. It would be difficult for me to save you if you weren't in the pure Jade sect. The chaotic heaven hound, by nature, found it difficult to suppress its yearning for the outside world. Master, I always feel like there is some opportunity waiting for me out there, the dog said. Hanju asked, have you really thought this through? Once you leave, if you encounter attacks from the righteous path or the demonic path, I will not intervene to save you. The chaotic heaven hound replied carefully, Master, I think the ones who should be worried are them. Hanju looked up and exclaimed in surprise, damn, this thing has grown bigger than a bear. Hanju thought to himself, I have been too absorbed in cultivation these past few years, and neglected the changes around me. Hearing Hu's agreement, the chaotic sky dog immediately grabbed Hanju and licked him on the paws. Hanju looked like just a small bone. If that's the case, then go. Actually, it might be good for you to go out and see the world, Hanju said. The chaotic sky dog barked happily and ran out of the cave, fearing that Hanu would change his mind. Hanju wanted to give some last words of advice, but the dog had already descended the mountain. Hanju thought to himself, oh, little dog, you don't know how lucky you are. Just wait until society gives you a hard time. Soon after, the chicken from the dark prison arrived. Hanju, somewhat irritated, asked, what do you want? Do you want to escape too? The dark prison chicken trembled in fear and quickly said, how could I? Leaving would mean becoming KFC. I came to ask Master if you could teach me how to cultivate, or at least some survival skills. Hanju thought to himself, the dark prison chicken has its own cultivation technique, but it lacks spells and divine abilities. It's time to teach it something. If so, I'll teach you. It's a good opportunity to prove that hard cultivation is no worse than finding fortunes out there. The little chicken had its own plans. You fat dog, you didn't see this coming. The moment you leave, I'll be learning divine abilities from Master. Next time, I'll give you a good beating. In a bustling city, Sushi walked down a street lined with stalls on both sides. The people coming and going were cultivators. He looked more mature, his face serious, giving off the feeling that he had faced life's hardships. As he walked, Sushi reflected on the events of the past few years. Luck or luck. A young girl once coveted my beauty, but then her family was struck by a plague and only I was spared. I was chased by demonic cultivators from the 2nd ring to the 6th, and not even on a direct route. In a moment of desperation, I stumbled upon the lair of a legendary beast, Godzilla, and the demonic cultivator got it wrong. Luck always seems to follow me. Wherever I go, there is always a trial of life and death waiting for me. Yes, I always manage to escape danger, but others are not as lucky as me. Plague, earthquakes, floods, famine, I witnessed so much suffering among the people, feeling increasingly helpless. In the end, I only contributed to my size. Facing this world, we are truly fragile. Perhaps the outcome of the mission is not important. What matters is the product. Only by enduring the hardships of the human world can one understand doubt. Sooty had an epiphany. Master, I finally understand what you meant, he said. As he spoke, Sooty absent-mindedly bumped into a female cultivator. You worm, thinking impure things about me, scolded the female cultivator angrily. Sooty hurriedly apologized. I am so sorry. I was distracted and didn't see you. The female cultivator became even more furious. Sushi defended herself. Go to hell, the female cultivator shouted, drawing her long sword and stabbing Sooty at this critical moment. However, at this critical moment, an invisible force suddenly repelled the female cultivator, causing her to fall heavily to the ground. Indeed, it must be Master helping me from the shadows. Otherwise, how could I explain such fortunate coincidences along my journey? After the chaotic Heaven Hound left, in less than a year, the 19th group, led by Li Chan Wang and Wei Yuan, finally prepared to attack the Pure Jade sect. Wei Yuan walked through the air, his sleeves fluttering in the wind, exuding an immortal aura. He scanned the Pure Jade sect with his spiritual sense and frowned slightly. There was only one spiritual transformation realm cultivator in the Pure Jade sect, and his aura was unstable, as if he was in recovery. Wei Yuan glanced at Li Xianwang in dissatisfaction, as if to say, you brought me here just to deal with such a situation. Hearing this, Li Chan Wang was pleasantly surprised. The slain god is injured. How great! With a call from me, luck and the law of the land will be in our favor. Follow me to the Pure Jade sect, and the first one to break through will be richly rewarded. The attack force advanced towards the Adipura sect, their battle cries shaking the heavens. Meanwhile, inside the natural cave, Hanju received a warning. The Pure Jade sect is under attack by the 19th group, both from the righteous and demonic paths. Hanju had two options: flee immediately to avoid trouble and receive a spiritual treasure, or kill the enemies and protect the Pure Jade sect by receiving a spell manual. Without hesitation, Han chose the second option, confident in his ability to defeat enemies like crops. Adopting a know-your-enemy strategy, Hanju identified the strongest nearby and began a mock trial. Wei Yuan, first level of the integration realm, Deputy Master of the 9 Dragon sect. 3 seconds later, the trial concluded. Target defeated in 3 seconds. That was it. At this moment, news of the 19th group's attack quickly spread throughout the Jadapura sect. The 19th group is attacking from the eastern gates. The defense needs reinforcement. The southern gates need new parts for protection. However, Ling was not panicking. He ordered the elders of the 18 peaks for the outer sect elders to stabilize the troops and activate the protective formations first, and prohibited all disciples from going out to face the attack. Despite being calm, the elders were anxious. Brother sect leader, at such a critical moment, how can you be so calm? Even if we don't flee, we should at least send disciples to defend key positions, right? Lindy was full of confidence. Why worry? It's just a small situation. Could it be that the killing god decided to face the 19th group alone? Firstly, to reduce the casualties of our disciples, and secondly, the 19th group didn't split their forces. Probably fearing sneak attacks, it's the perfect opportunity for the killing god to eliminate them in one go. He's confident, you can rest assured. The elders said that he is now able to compete with the ancestor. If he makes such a promise, it means that he is completely confident. A divine opportunity upon hearing that the Slayer God himself would take action. What should have been a tense and serious preparation meeting instantly turned into an extravagant flattery session. What a move! Wiping them all out in one go. This wave is steady. Little sister's training is effective. Outside the innate cave, Hanju was preparing to leave after a long period of intense cultivation. He wanted to stretch his limbs a bit. Alas, I cultivated too much. I have a bit of pain in my shoulder. Just as he was about to cast a spell, the chicken from the dark prison arrived. Master, it's finally coming out. Let's run away quickly. I've already packed everything, the dark prison chicken asked quickly. Anxiously, Hanju thought to himself, did this one really learn a bit from me? Hanju simply ignored him, leaving behind the words. Don't worry, they're just a bunch of dogs and chickens. Why bother running away? With those words, Hanju turned into a breeze and left. The dark prison chicken looked admiringly in the direction he left, but suddenly realized. Wait, was Master insulting me just now? Feeling offended, the dark prison chicken thought to himself. I'm a phoenix, not a chicken. The insult was aimed at that fat dog. This realization made the dark prison chicken happy again. Hanju flew on his sword towards the allied forces of the 19th group. The cultivators of the 19th group were nervous and excited. The front is accepted as pure is doomed. They even protected Jofin and Mafu, truly a disgrace to the path of righteousness. This senior Y1 is truly a great cultivator of the integration realm. Silence. Such a powerful person is not for us to argue with, Y1 said, full of confidence. Not taking the Pure Jade sect seriously. Lechen Wang felt someone from the Pure Jade sect approaching. Senior, someone from the Pure Jade sect is coming. Y1 said. His eyes widened. What the hell? Full of spiritual treasures. This is absurd. I only have one spirit treasure and I obtained it by risking my life. Isn't this guy really the Novi Cauldron Sage? Lechen Wang suggested. Maybe he's an envoy of peace. The 9 Cauldron Sage is far away overseas and couldn't return so quickly. No wonder he's equipped with all the defensive treasures, probably afraid that we'll take our anger out on him, Leshan Wang commented. Still thinking of Hanju as just cannon fodder. Is it just you from the Jalipura sect? How arrogant, Li Qianlong communicated, through a secret message. Something's wrong, senior. Please make your move and capture this person. Y1 communicated through a secret message. In fact, he ignored my pressure. His strength is definitely not inferior to mine. This person is probably the slain god elder. It is said that he is the youngest elder in the history of the Pure Jade sect, apparently born in the outer sect of the Pure Jade sect, and he is not even 300 years old yet. He is not even 300 years old, so at best, he has just entered the spiritual transformation realm. He probably withstood my pressure with those spiritual treasures he has. Since that is so, God-slain elder, do you dare to fight me? Yuan spoke. As Yuan spoke, Hanju suddenly charged towards him at high speed. Where does this confidence come from? It doesn't matter, I will end this quickly. Yuan didn't even have time to raise his magic tool. He is not following the rules of engagement by launching a sneak attack. What speed? Hanju suddenly charged out his palm, emitting 6 types of glows, rapidly rotating to form a seal that struck Wei Yin's forehead. Ever since I entered the integration realm, I have comprehended a new divine ability, the 6 Paths Ultimate Seal, which can suppress the enemy's primordial spirit and can be used as a finishing blow. As the bright light dissipated, everyone saw Wei Yin's body suddenly fall to the ground. The body remains, but the primordial spirit is gone, Li Qianlong said. It's your turn, Hanju said coldly, pointing his right index finger, executing the supreme divine sword. The sword energy pierced through Li Qianlong's chest, and an overbearing spiritual power of the end of the 6 paths enveloped Shan Wang's body. Hanju recited a spell, disperse the spiritual essence, destroy the golden core, shatter the soul, and cause severe damage to the primordial spirit. Li Qianlong's spiritual power instantly dissipated. Another instantaneous blow. Li Qianlong fell off the cliff with blood flowing from his 7 orifices. A tragic sight indeed. This all happened too quickly, leaving the thousands of cultivators of the 19th group dumbfounded. The elevator, sweating profusely, looked at his sect leader and asked in a trembling voice. Sect leader, do we still attack? Hearing this, the sect leader cursed. Attack? What attack is this? Are you a spy? We are here to support the Pure Jade sect, the leader of the Rio sect a few times. It seems the Pure Jade sect does not need our support. Then we will leave first. Sorry for the disturbance. Goodbye. Hanju did not disturb the remaining soldiers. It is good that the 19th group did not fight to the death. If everyone were killed, the Pure Jade sect would truly become the enemy of the entire Great Swallow cultivation world. Now, a warning is enough. Sect leader Li Qianlong is handed over to you, Han Ju said. The disciples of the Pure Jade sect were perplexed. It is over like this, is it? They thought. We have not even finished our meeting yet. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. After Han Ju left Le Shanan paralyzed, he took him to the main peak so that Linzi could lead the people to deal with him. Then, he returned to the native cave and placed Wei Yin's body on the ground with a hand gesture, as if it were a sword. A soul emerged from his forehead, revealing itself to be Henjin, the leader of the Sacred Raincoat sect. Heng Zunan thought that Hanju had released him because it was time for his execution, but Hanju coldly asked, "Do you want to be resurrected?" Hearing that resurrection was possible, Wang Zonan was immediately overjoyed. Hanju said, "There is a body here whose primordial spirit has been eradicated, but the vitality of the flesh remains. You can be resurrected if you take it." Wang Zuantian knelt down with a slap and swore, "After resurrection, I will exclusively follow Senior's command. Otherwise, may the heart demon consume me and my body perish in my path." He also expressed his intention to sever all ties with the Sacred Raincoat sect once he returned. Return to the Sacred Raincoat sect? What are you thinking? The Sacred Raincoat Church no longer exists, Han Ju said. He found Heng Zunan's words sincere and his conduct acceptable, but he still couldn't fully trust him. Han Ju declared, "This body belongs to the vice leader of the Western Abyss Province's Nine Dragons sect, a great cultivator of the Void Fusion realm, whose primordial spirit I destroyed." Hanju explained, "I am not afraid of the Nine Dragons, but I wish to avoid endless troubles. You only need to stabilize the Nine Dragons sect and conceal this matter. I have left my reincarnation mark on your soul. If you betray me, I can kill you with a single thought." Heng Zunan quickly agreed and swore, "From now on, I will never be an enemy of Senior." After that, Hanzhou instructed Heng Shunan to possess the body. 7 days later, Heng Zonam succeeded in possessing the body. The system notified, "Heng Zon's favorability towards you has increased." Seeing this notification, Hanju smiled satisfactorily, finding old man Heng even more pleasant. Heng Zunan took a deep breath, walked up to Hanju, and bowed respectfully. "I have been calling you the God-slaying elder, which is not proper etiquette. May I ask for your distinguished name or title?" Hanju still did not want to reveal his name, afraid that there might still be treasures like the Book of Misfortune in this world. So he named himself after the 6 realms of reincarnation, saying to Wang Chunan, "You can call me Reincarnation." Hang Shuntian thought, "Such a powerful name, I must hold on tightly to these skirts." At this moment, Wang Zunan felt that the Nine Dragons sect was calling him. Angel instructed him to leave immediately and not to arouse suspicion from the Nine Dragons sect before he left. Hanzhou advised Juzhen to speak less upon his return to avoid giving himself away. However, Juzhen had another idea in mind. Hanzhou asked what the idea was, and Heng Zunan said. Hanzhou replied, "As long as you don't disturb me in the Pure Jade sect, you are free to develop as you wish." After resolving the matter with Heng Zan, the system sent another notification. "You have successfully protected the Pure Jade sect and obtained a magic manual. Congratulations on mastering the art of reincarnation. This spell can reveal the true form of all beings." Seeing the system message, Hanju replied, pondered, "It seems that being cautious was indeed necessary. The effects of karma are truly astonishing." A month later, Lindsay came to find Hanu, bringing with her a number of heavenly materials and earthly treasures. Lindsay said, "These treasures were sent by the 19th Root Sector as an apology. I specifically picked the best ones for Elder Han," Lindsay continued. "The leaders of various sects and found out that Li Qianlong was the one responsible for this. He is now in my custody." From within the prison, Li Qianlong cursed. "When I get out of here, I will wipe you all out." Lindsay added, "However, we issued search orders for Zan and Mafu, but they seem to have disappeared from the face of the earth. I'm a little worried about them." Hanju comforted, "Don't worry. They are both capable people and might have been part of the Grand Coup." Speaking of which, the Wei family was driven out of the Grand Coup cultivation world by other sects. Without their schemes, the various powers within the Grand Coup are much more peaceful. Lindsay nodded. "That's good, we have no intention of dominating. Only through peaceful cultivation can our sect prosper one day." Hanju opened the relationship list, and the system showed. "Your friend Mafu accidentally entered an ancient forbidden area and obtained an ancient inheritance. Your friend Jofen accidentally entered an ancient forbidden area and obtained an ancient inheritance." Hanju thought for a moment and muttered, "They wouldn't end up together in the future, would they?" Continuing through the list, Hanju said, "Why are these people, especially my disciples, suddenly causing so much trouble?" The system then sent out a warning. "Individual with innate destiny detected. Do you want to view their origins?" Hanju exclaimed in surprise. Another, the system showed that this person was called Sun Chang'an. At the 7th level of the Foundation Establishment realm, and was the reincarnation of a primordial spirit in a previous life. He was raised by Buddhists but fell into a love trap with a female demoness, angering the gods and Buddhists, who then threw him into the moral realm. Upon hearing that the god-slaying elder of the Pure Jade sect was the most prominent aesthetic cultivator in the world, he came specifically to become a disciple, hoping to cultivate with the god-slaying elder and thus forget the secular world. Hanju scanned with his spiritual sense and saw that Sun Shanan had already arrived at the foot of the immoral athletic mountain. Hanju thought to himself, "This guy really is persistent." He knelt before the steel thinking, "I absolutely cannot continue being a fool, no. I must stop thinking about her." He shouted out loud, "I, Sun Shanan, ask Elder Godslayer to accept me as a disciple." After saying this, he began to pray. An hour passed without a response. Sun Shanan thought he wasn't devout enough, so he continued to kneel with his hands clasped together. He firmly believed that as long as he persisted, his sincerity would surely move the senior. Hanju thought, although a primordial spirit ginseng is valuable, it can also attract trouble. Let's wait a little longer and see. As the seasons changed, Sun Channan remained kneeling before the athletic immoral mountain, receiving no response. But his devotion continued. Over time, his determination became famous throughout the Pure Jade sect, with disciples occasionally visiting just to witness his devotion. Years passed, and he remained kneeling for a full 5 years. One day, Mal came to visit him, after decades of not meeting. She had matured and looked more graceful. Hanju noticed the complex expression in Mal's eyes and smiled as she asked, "Mal, do you plan to follow your brother and get involved with the demon path?" Mal sighed. "Yes, I plan to find my clan brother and seek revenge together." Ranju frowned. "After so long, do you still carry that grudge?" Mal confessed. "I thought I had overcome my hatred, but I discovered that it had turned into my own inner demon. If I don't deal with it, I will never advance spiritually." She explained that she came to say goodbye, because besides her brother, Hanju was the person she cared about the most in the political sect. Pure Jade. Hanju realized the gravity of Mao's words, but before she could say anything, she walked over, expressing her decision to leave and her admiration for him. Hanju, keeping her cool, simply imposed the supreme seal of the 6 paths on her soul, a gesture that went unnoticed by Mal. "Take care of yourself," was all Hanjo said, leaving Mal confused and disappointed. Internally, she called him selfish, wondering why he didn't stop her. Unable to contain her anguish, Mal turned and asked aloud if Hanjo would be willing to marry her. His evasive answer made her cry with joy. But soon after, when she left the cave, was captured by Master Jingu and Lindsay, as Hanjo had predicted. Hanjo reassured her, pointing out her safety. Then he informed Lexindi of Mao's intentions, ensuring that she would be prevented from joining the rebels, and mentioned Sun Shanan, the devotee at the foot of the mountain. Hanju noticed that Sun Shanan had been kneeling for 5 years and teleported over to him. Sun Shanan looked exhausted, but his determination was evident. "Your perseverance is admirable. I accept you as my disciple," Hanju said indifferently. Sun Shanan looked up, trembling with emotion. "Elder Godslayer, it's me." Hanju mused to himself about Sun Shanan's appearance, but accepted him as a disciple anyway. After a quick conversation, Hanju instructed Sunshanan to cultivate in a place of his own until he reached the Golden Core realm. A system notification appeared, offering Ranju 3 options for his cultivation path. After pondering, he chose the path of the reincarnation sword, which granted him a divine ability. 12 years had passed since Sun Channan joined the sect. Hanju reached a new level of cultivation, benefiting from the increase in spiritual energy in the cave. The sector as a whole flourished with the improvement of the disciples. After the upgrade of the Jade Purity art, the elders saw their cultivation limit increase to the Void Fusion realm, elevating the sector to the peak of the Great Devourer. On a quiet day, Hanju decided to check his connections. To his surprise, many regarded him favorably. Especially within the Jade Purity sector, which made it difficult to keep up with all the updates. Desperate to manage everything, he received a cunning tip from the system. The special attention button under his friend's portrait, he could avoid missing important updates. Grateful for the advice, Hanju made the change and saw the amount of irrelevant content decrease considerably. As he read about his friend's lively experiences, his determination to remain in the Jade Purity sector grew stronger. Suddenly, a system update alerted him to the critical situation of his disciple Sui, who was being pursued by 7 cultivators. Witnessing the unequal fight, Hanju was horrified. Soot, covered in blood and surrounded, begged for help. The pursuers demanded his treasures, but he refused to give in. Realizing that Sushi's situation was desperate, he called out to his master for help. Sui's cry made the cultivators hesitate, but seeing that no one responded, they charged forward. However, Before they could attack, thunder clouds gathered, heralding the arrival of divine thunder. The pursuer's fate was sealed. "Master, you came at just the right time," Sushi exclaimed, expressing gratitude. "Thank you for saving me." 18,000 years later, during a break in his cultivation, Hanju decided to test Sun Shainin with the Heartless Sword technique. Sun Shainin claimed to have mastered the technique over the years and began to demonstrate it. However, as he practiced, he found himself thinking about himself again, struggling with his desires and emotions. Hanju noticed Sun Shainin's distraction, but praised the sword technique, only pointing out the cultivation level as a challenge. Sun Shainin felt disheartened that he could not overcome his emotions. Hanju sighed, and introduced him to his wife, revealing that the Heartless Sword technique was not fake, but rather challenging. Sun Qinan was surprised and was asked to leave. Meanwhile, Hanju's wife, Xing Hongxian, offered him a powerful technique and a miracle fruit to strengthen his body. Hanju accepted the fruit and felt its immediate but strange effect. Later, Xing Hongxian mentioned Mao's visit, making Hanju uneasy. In a moment of surprise, she took the initiative, leading to events that will not be detailed here. Several days later, an urgent call from Luqing interrupted their intimate moments. Hanzhou realized the seriousness of the situation when Luqing mentioned that the blood flame heavenly door was intended to unify the surrounding cultivation world. Hanzhou questioned, "Is this blood flame heavenly door strong?" Lengzhe admitted uncertainty. "At least in the void fusion realm, or they could not have unified the cultivation world so quickly." Hanzhou wasn't afraid, he was just worried that he might encounter someone from the Union realm. Lengzhe asked, "What if there's someone from the Union realm, Elder Han? What would you do?" Hanzhou didn't lie. "That depends on when they decide to attack. If they come tomorrow, I might be able to run away." Leng Zeril, "It won't be tomorrow. Considering the distance and resistance along the way, it will take decades or even longer to reach the Jade Purity sector. I just wanted to warn you." He could understand what Hanzhou meant. Hanzhou laughed. "Well, I might not be able to reach the Union realm in 10 years either." Luqing knew very well that Hanzhou's talent was rare in the world, and his cultivation would definitely make a huge leap in a few decades. Hanzhou had always wondered why cultivators didn't focus on their cultivation, understand the true meaning of heaven and earth and seek eternal life, instead of fighting for territories like mortals. Li Qing's explanation dispelled his confusion. Demonic cultivators' ambition only grows with their cultivation. Furthermore, the more cultivation worlds they occupy, the more cultivation resources they can control. After explaining, Luqing remembered another matter. "Elder Han, the news about your disciple. We found out that Yang Tendo's disappearance was related to the last time he went to the Jade Purity sector for a cultivation conference." Lengzhe said with a strange expression. "We found him, but he says he is now a demon king and is living very well. He doesn't plan on returning for the time being." Hanju replied indifferently. "With that kid's intelligence, let him be." Before leaving, Lengzhe mentioned another matter. "By the way, Elder Han, there has been a demonic dog wreaking havoc in the cultivation world. According to the disciples' descriptions, it seems to be the one you are raising," Hanju replied. "Don't worry about it. He insists on going out to wander. He will return once he learns his lesson." Luqing sighed. "As expected of you, I need to prepare for the matter of the blood flame heavenly door, so I will take my leave now." "Alright, goodbye. Try not to get beaten up again." When Hanju returned to her cave, she found Xing Hongxian had already left. She left a note saying, "Seeing such provocative words, Hanzhou couldn't help but feel an emptiness, a joyful union, complementing each other. This might be a good idea." Since the beginning of his cultivation journey, Hanju had relied on rewards from the system. He had devoted all his energy to cultivation, and had never independently performed a divine ability. "Maybe I should try it this way." The Three Pure Shadows Sword is an ultimate offensive technique, currently the strongest single attack move, with a high death threshold. The Myriad Swords Divine Sect can summon sword shadows from the river of history, perfect for wide-range attacks. But despite the grandeur of the scene, it still lacks accuracy and lethality. What if we combined the two? Imagine tens of thousands of ultimate sword shadows, free to eliminate enemies. Am I creating my own divine sword skill? In the Western Abyss Province, a region without dynasties, where demons are abundant and human dynasties rarely venture, there are many cultivation sects, more than in the Great Devourer cultivation world. Inside a pavilion of the true martial sect, Wang Jihai was meditating when suddenly, the door opened and a man in blue walked in. He was handsome, but wore an eye patch. The man in blue asked Wang Jiha, "Have you thought about it?" Wang Jiha replied impassively, "I didn't lose to you because of my swordsmanship. If I had another 100 years, I could definitely defeat you. The Red Phoenix sect raised me. I can't betray them." The man in blue laughed. The true martial sect is stronger than the Red Phoenix sect, and even stronger than the Jade Purity sect in the Great Devourer cultivation world. Join us and I will train you to be the best sword cultivator in the world. Wang Jihua smiled bitterly. Could it be that my talent and skill with the sword are truly unmatched in the world? Yes, I have seen others with even more extraordinary talent. The man in blue asked curiously. Someone stronger than you with the sword? Where did you find them? Definitely not somewhere in your Great Devourer. Wang Jihua asked seriously, have you ever heard of the god-slaying elder of the Jade Purity sector? His strength is comparable to that of a great cultivator at the Void Fusion realm. Yuan of the Nine Dragons sect returned defeated, not mentioning a word about his encounter, which speaks volumes about the god-slaying elder's power. The man in blue said disdainfully, why one, your talent has never been a match. Reach the realm of Void Fusion through tricks and opportunities. Defeating him is not a difficult task. At this moment, the sword on the table suddenly began to tremble. Not only the sword on the table, but also Wang Jihua's sword beside him. Both of them were shocked. Wang Jihua grabbed his sword. What's going on? Why is my sword trying to come loose? The man in blue also held his sword. Is it an earthquake? No, it's not an earthquake. They rushed out of the room to the courtyard only to see many of the disciples' swords unsheathed simultaneously, flying uncontrollably into the sky. My sword? Why is it flying? Not my ancestral sword. Looking up at the sky, both of them were stunned by the sight before them. Thousands of swords were suspended in the air, with all of their tips pointing in the same direction, creating a spectacular scene. The man in blue muttered in shock, this is the tribute of 10,000 swords, the chorus of the sword spirits, the sword skill of the ages. Wang Jihua, his eyes filled with astonishment, had never before seen all of the swords flying into the sky in tribute, all pointing in the same direction, towards the Great Devourer. He asked, what is the sword skill of the ages? The man in blue took a deep breath and explained, the sword skill of the ages is a sword prowess, a divine skill. I never imagined that I would encounter a genius like this in today's sword world. Wang Jihua was stunned. An image of an incomparable face emerged in his mind. Could it really be him? Wang Jihua asked through gritted teeth. The blue-robed man replied sincerely, with your talent and dedication to the sword, reaching that level isn't entirely impossible. But in his thoughts, he added, do you dare to dream? Well, a gentle lie anyway. Suddenly, an old man exploded. Who was it that comprehended the state of the ages? With my innate sword heart and 3,000 years of aesthetic cultivation, I haven't reached it. Is that fair? After hearing this, Wang Jihua asked, you said that with my innate sword heart, it's possible to reach that level? No, I didn't say that. Meanwhile, above the Jade Purity sector, countless swords were suspended in the air, all trembling, pointing towards the mountain of athletic cultivation for immortality. But Hanju was unaware of this, thinking, it's so noisy outside this early in the morning. Really annoying, you guys are disturbing my understanding of divine ability. Hanju angrily walked out of his cave, only to see the little rooster and Sungchan trembling in fear for some reason, looking up and seeing those swords suspended in the air, becoming stunned. Who the hell caused this commotion? The little rooster urged Hanju to quickly pack up and run away. There must be a powerful master attacking us. Hanju ignored it, looking down at the sword shadow in his palm. He saw a radiating golden light and spiritual energy gradually condensing into a precious golden sword. With a thought, he tightly clenched it with his right hand and the sword shadow dissipated. Subsequently, all the suspended swords and the surrounding sky fell down. Sun Chan and Little Rooster looked at Hanju in bewilderment, thinking that he had instantly resolved the crisis with a single move once again. At this moment, the system congratulated him on comprehending the divine sword skill of 10,000 epics. Please give a name. Hanzhou was slightly stunned by the line that appeared before him. 10,000 epics? Are there grades for divine abilities? After some thought, he decided, let's call it Extermination of the Three Pure Worlds, naming successful. Since this is your first time comprehending a divine ability, your fortune has increased. You have the following choices. 1. Make a grand appearance with the Extermination of the Three Pure Worlds, terrorizing the world and receiving a spiritual treasure. Cultivate in a low-key manner and continue to grow until you become invincible in the world and receive a spiritual treasure. Hanzhou silently chose the second option. Little Rooster and Sun Qian watched Hanzhou silently for a while, thinking that he had suffered a backlash from casting a spell. Little did they know, Hanju's body suddenly exploded with spiritual light, nearly blinding him. The system notified. Hanju, you have obtained a third-grade spiritual treasure, the Earth Emperor's spiritual flag. This item is a third-grade defensive spiritual treasure, capable of automatically blocking attacks that could harm its owner. Another third-grade defensive spiritual treasure, Amazing. Who could touch me? Who could break through my defense? Suddenly, he had a bold thought. What if I go out now and act prominently? Would the system take away the spiritual treasure? After pondering, he shook his head. Never mind. I wanted to keep a low profile anyway. The system offers choices based on my preferences. There is no need to test it. The scene shifts to the Western Abyss province, in the Nine Dragons sect, where Hang Zhen, the usurper of Wei Yuan's body, was cultivating in a Taoist temple. Wang Zunan opened his eyes to see an old Taoist entering the temple, sitting down opposite Wang Xuantian. The old man laughed. Brother Wei, I came to discuss something with you. Wang Zunan tensed up. Why did the Nine Dragons sect master suddenly come to me? The old Taoist spoke. Our sect has been in conflict with the true martial sect for a long time, and other resource areas in the Western Abyss province have been almost entirely occupied. I want our disciples to enter the Great Swallow cultivation world. You have been to the Great Swallow before. How about leading the way? Hearing this, Hang Zunan frowned. Invade the Great Swallow? Are we tired of living? Hang Zunan hesitated. Can't we leave for the Great Swallow? We could leave for other cultivation worlds. The world is vast, and there are better places than the Great Swallow. It is precisely because the Great Swallow is weak that we target it. This matter is settled, so get ready. I will go select the disciples. The old Taoist smiled. If you handle this matter well, eventually the position of sect master will be yours. Hang Zunan thought to himself. I'm not interested in your empty promises, Wang Zuning secretly observed as he watched him leave. Old fox, is this what you call an argument? Damn it, you're forcing me to act. It seems like I have no choice but to take over your position as sect master. With Hanju creating an ancient divine ability, it caused an uproar throughout the world for a time. Every sect felt threatened. However, other than a certain Taoist with the surname Hang, no one believed that the power behind the ancient sword Dao could be hidden in a great swallow. Hang Jiha was holding a portrait of Han Chu, explaining desperately. I swear on my integrity that I am telling the truth. There really is a sword immortal in the Great Swallow. The passers-by did not believe it. The Great Swallow is so weak, how could there possibly be a sword immortal? You need to improve your painting skills. A sword immortal doesn't look like that. Hang Jiha was furious. He really does look like that, he added. Meanwhile, on the athletic immortal mountain, Hanzhou was creating his own celestial puppet when the system suddenly alerted him. You have reached 300 years of age, another 100 years have passed in your cultivation journey. You have the following choices. 1. Come out of seclusion now to show the world your strength and receive a fortune-increasing divine beast egg. 2. Continue to cultivate in a low-key manner, hiding your abilities and your name, and receive a spiritual treasure. Han Ju immediately chose the second option without hesitation and obtained another defensive necklace. Excited, he opened the system's relationship panel to see what had happened in the past 2 years. One update in particular caught Hanju's attention. His disciple Sushi was captured by the royal family of the Great Ji dynasty. Within the Great Ji dynasty, Sudi was thrown into a room, seriously injured and unable to handle even 2 ordinary guards. The soldiers didn't plan on making things difficult for him, since the emperor had already decreed that Sushi would marry the eldest princess, but until the wedding, Sushi was not allowed to go anywhere. The guards outside whispered, "How is this guy so lucky to marry the eldest princess? But I heard that the eldest princess just accepted another eunuch yesterday. We shouldn't talk about that." Furthermore, the national advisor said that the fate of the Great Dini dynasty lies in this boy's hands. Isn't that absurd? Hearing that he was detained by a dynasty, Sushi felt uneasy. This is bad. Being detained by a dynasty means that if my master comes to rescue me, he will be opposing the entire dynasty. Master, you'd better not come at this time. Desperate cries for help came from outside, and Sushi saw flames and smoke rising through the door. People running away scream, "Run! What kind of monster is this? Locusts! All locusts, locusts! What are we afraid of?" Then he looked through the crack in the door toward the distance. And indeed, the sky was filled with locusts larger than houses. Sudi was stunned, wondering where all these demonic locusts had come from. Could it be his master? He cheered. "Thank you for saving me, master. I will make sure to complete the task," without realizing that he himself had caused this disaster. Soon after, Hanzhou also received a system update. His disciple Sushi had spread misfortune, causing the Great Jin dynasty to be hit by a 1,000-year-old locust plague, floods, and pestilence, bringing the country to the brink of ruin. Above the vast desolate land, as countless locusts passed by, leaving behind a storm of dust, a figure walked through the storm. It was Sushi. He thought to himself, "My master's skill is truly strong, capable of destroying a kingdom with locusts that don't even dare to approach me." Over the years, he had endured many hardships, but he had always managed to survive. This was my master testing my heart. Not long after, Sooty saw an old crooked tree ahead with a figure sitting beneath it. A ragged old man meditating, the wrinkles on his face resembling the bark of the tree behind him. Sooty greeted with a fist and palm salute. "Senior, may I ask where this place is?" The old man replied without opening his eyes. "Northern Province." Hearing this, Sushi suddenly felt an urge to cry. "Northern Province, after nearly 100 years, I have finally arrived at the Northern Province." He immediately turned around and knelt down, bowing to the sky behind him. "Master, do you see this?" His disciple did not disappoint him. The old man opened his eyes and looked at him strangely, so happy to arrive at the Northern Province. "Do you know what place the Northern Province is?" Sushi stood up, turned to him, wiped his tears, and smiled. Actually, I don't know much. But the monster-taming demon sect is in the Northern Province, right?" Old friend Zeno grimaced and asked, "Do you have any connection with the demonic monster-taming sect?" Sooty replied excitedly, "I will once I join the demonic monster-taming sect." The old man shook his head. "I see that the requirement to enter the demonic monster-taming sect is quite high. Even with your cultivation at the Golden Core realm, it won't be easy. Furthermore, the Northern Province is a place where demons roam freely." He advised Sushi. "Young man, I beg you, don't go to the Northern Province. It's a true hell on earth." Sushi laughed. "Really? Then I'll be on my guard," he thought to himself. "Could it be that the Northern Province is more dangerous than my master imagines?" In the blink of an eye, another 5 years passed. The Great Swallow experienced a rare snowstorm, covering the entire pure jade in snow, a picturesque scene of desolate beauty. Hanju walked out of her cave into a world covered in white. "I have lived for 100 years, and this is the first time I have encountered such heavy snow." The little rooster and Sun Chang found it amusing, but Hanju felt something unusual. As Hanji pondered it, the system suddenly alerted him. A 1,000-year-old demon is about to awaken. You have the following choices. 1. Emerge now, wipe out the demon, save the people, and receive a spiritual treasure and a divine skill inheritance. 2. Continue your cultivation, avoid danger, and receive a random celestial material. Hanju immediately chose the second option. The system congratulated him. You chose to continue your cultivation, avoiding dangers. You receive a random heavenly material and a fuzong tree seed. An earthly treasure. Meanwhile, in another realm, also covered in snow, countless demons crawled in the forests. Yang Tendong led the group. Yang Tendong turned to an old tree demon beside him and asked. "The longer," the old tree demon replied. "Soon, the great demon King Jinsu will awaken." Yang Tendong frowned. "If he is so powerful, why has he been sleeping for 2,000 years? 2,000 years ago, before the Great Swallow existed, this place was rarely visited by humans and was a paradise for our demon race. Jiangsu, the demon king, was the only demon king in this land, and all the demons obeyed him. Until one day, a human cultivator stumbled upon this land. Seeing him injured, Jiansu, the demon king, helped him. However, this man betrayed his kindness and brought countless cultivators to attack us, a war that lasted decades and broke out. Few survived." Yang Tong said with a grimace. "Do these cultivators not worry that Jiansu, the demon king, might wake up?" The old tree demon sneered. "Human hearts are uglier than those of demons. 2,000 years have passed, and they are no longer united against a common enemy. They might have already turned against each other with few still alive." Yang Tendong asked, "When Jiangsu, the demon king wakes up, will he wipe out all the humans in the Great Swallow?" "Of course, this territory originally belonged to us," the old tree demon replied. Yang Tendong thought of the pure jade sect and Hanju, planning to inform his master of this news as soon as possible. Soon, the group of demons arrived at the top of the mountain where the demon king was sealed. They felt the oppressive force growing stronger beneath the ice. As a ray of golden light disappeared, the sound of icebergs breaking apart echoed in the distance, accompanied by a deafening roar. The demon king broke through the seal and emerged from the ice. The blood light shot into the sky at the top of the mountain, and a roar suppressed for 1,000 years broke through the heavens. The demons felt unprecedented terror and pressure. Yang Qingdong felt a strong discomfort. "This is bad. This pressure far surpasses that of my master." At this moment, outside her cave, Hanju also received a system alert about the emergence of the demon king. She didn't expect that this demon king would come so soon. The snowstorm and the Great Swallow lasted for 2 years before stopping. One day, a figure stealthily infiltrated the Pure Jade Sect Scripture Pavilion. This person's cultivation was so high that no one noticed. The pavilion was thoroughly searched, but nothing caught this person's attention, except for a booklet titled Observations of 100 Female Cultivators. Finally, a disciple of the Pure Jade sect guarding the pavilion noticed the intrusion and attacked with a sword. In an instant, 2 disciples were knocked out and thrown out of the pavilion. The intruder sneered boldly. "Trash? Just trash? Is this the base of the Pure Jade sect? Is it really number 1 in the Great Swallow? So weak." He looked in the direction where the spiritual energy was densest, towards the aesthetic immortal mountain, thinking, "That must be where the god-slaying elder is in seclusion. I really want to see what it will be like for you to kneel before me, begging for mercy." Hanju also detected that a powerful individual had entered the Pure Jade sect, True Leisure, a person of void fusion. 9th layer of the void realm, an elder of the blood flame heavenly gate. Hanju thought, if that's so, it's time to deal with you. After taking a booklet of portraits of female cultivators from the scripture pavilion, True Leisure flew towards the aesthetic immortal mountain. As he approached the peak, with surging spiritual energy, he suddenly felt uneasy. Having wandered the cultivation world for many years, he trusted his instincts. He also remembered the advice of the sect master, Lubaim, before he left. "Brother, I know you like to seek doubts. But don't forget the main purpose of our trip to the Great Swallow." "Of course. My main purpose is still to assess the strength of the potential enemies for the sect. I have my methods. This time, I plan to disguise myself as one of their disciples. If their sect is strong, we will wait. If it is weak, I will directly eradicate them." As he approached, the spiritual energy became denser. Soon, he reached the Hanju territory, looking at the base of the Pure Jade sect. It's only a so-so. No wonder the 9 Cauldron Sage refused to stay in the Pure Jade sect, always limited by his narrow vision. His culture will never progress. If I'm not mistaken, they call this place the aesthetic immortal mountain. What a dull taste. In an instant, True Leisure saw a huge Dharma figure appear in front of him, which abruptly disappeared. He was startled. Could it be an illusion? The aesthetic immortal mountain is right before my eyes, but for some reason, an inexplicable sense of danger arises in my heart. Despite having reached the void fusion realm many years ago, this is the first time I've felt this way. There are some entities in the cultivation world that defy common logic. Caution is the best approach. He then formed an enchanted seal, sending out a portion of his spiritual sense. Meanwhile, at the top of the aesthetic immortal mountain, Hanju was meditating, silently waiting. He sensed it. I sensed him. He's here, from afar. True Laser saw him and thought to himself, what a handsome man. He's only at the 9th level of the Foundation Establishment realm. He should be a disciple of the God-slaying elder. True Laser looked at Hanju and asked with a smile, "Young man, is the God-slaying elder here?" At this time, a system notification arrived at Hanju. True Laser has developed a favorable impression of you. Current favorability is 2 stars. Hanju helplessly replied, "What do you want?" True Lazarus replied with a charming smile. "Of course, ask him to submit to our blood flame heavenly gate." "Submit? How about facing my sword first?" Hanju turned her right hand and took out the sword of primordial judgment. Upon seeing the sword of primordial judgment, True Laser's pupil shrank. This treasure has an extraordinary origin. Even without releasing sword energy, its domineering is already palpable. Wait, he seems to be covered in spiritual treasures. Could he be the God-slaying elder? True Laser was shocked. Void Fusion Realm, so you are the God-slaying elder. With a burst of golden light from his hand, Hanju shouted, "Exterminate him from the 3 pure worlds," as the precious sword was stabbed into the ground. Countless golden sword shadows struck True Laser with such fast speed that he couldn't react. His body was instantly pierced by numerous sword energies. Before True Laser could stabilize himself, he was horrified to see countless sword shadows covering the sky from all directions. This is bad. My escape is cut off. I can't escape. The sword energy is too overwhelming. I have no way to counterattack. I'm doomed. I must sacrifice this item and escape in the chaos. In an instant, True Laser sacrificed a spiritual treasure, the Blue Lotus Supreme Tower. The small tower quickly expanded, covering his body. But then it was struck by countless sword shadows. True Laser then formed a spell with his hands, self-destruct of the spiritual treasure. And in an instant, spiritual power exploded, sending multicolored shockwaves into the sky. True Leisure's physical body, along with the Blue Lotus Tower, was completely reduced to ashes. True Leisure's avatar shuddered, spitting out blood. Damn, this is a huge loss, but I'll keep it in mind. Fortunately, he used the bright and dark separation technique to leave an avatar, so even if his physical body was destroyed, the avatar can become the true body. The strength of the sword energy is unmatched, even the remnants hit me here. With just one move, both the Blue Lotus Tower and my body were decimated. Truly a loss for both sides. What kind of demon or ghost is the god-slaying elder? This place isn't safe to stay in. I must quickly inform the Blood Flame Heavenly Gate about this, and we must not provoke them. After the explosion, Hanju also noticed that True Leisure's spiritual energy was still present, transformed into spiritual energy. It was an avatar. Damn, my power was exposed, I was careless, and the enemy was equally cautious. This is going to be troublesome. What if after the smaller ones come, the bigger ones come? Oh right, he's among my contacts. Miralo just got easier with this. Hanju took out the Book of Misfortune and began cursing True Leisure. Years later, True Leisure finally escaped back to the Blood Flame Heavenly Gate. Seeing True Leisure's sorry state, Lubomi was shocked. He finally came back. Holy Christ, senior brother, how did you end up in this sorry state? True Leisure reported all the misadventures he encountered on his way back, but did not mention Hanjo. Lubomi said, I see, that's not a big problem. Oh right, our CE disciples have completed their training and their return is timely. True Laser looked at the training ground. Ah, let's raise the Great Swallow together. Remembering Ranju's peerless face, True Laser's soul couldn't help but tremble. No, don't go to the Junior Great Swallow. Absolutely not. Accept pure distance. Jade, the Great Swallow is an unparalleled powerhouse. I couldn't even withstand one of his blows. Let's postpone the invasion. Lubomi widened her eyes in shock. But our Blood Flame Heavenly Gate is fully prepared. If we give up now, all our preparations will be in vain. Furthermore, we have just unified the Great Path and our people's morale is high. Damaging morale at this time is also inappropriate, senior brother. We still need more resources. We should send troops with this guest elder by our side. We might have a chance, True Laser said. That god-slaying elder has always kept a low profile. The status of the Pure Jade sect in the Great Swallow is largely due to him. He seems to be in the Void Fusion realm, but the impression he gives me is very elusive. Saying that he is unfathomable is no exaggeration. Even this guest elder might not have an advantage against him, you know? My intuition is always accurate. It's better to be safe than sorry. Lubel frowned at me, unable to comprehend how the Great Swallow could possess such a formidable individual. Then let's target the Western Abyss province. This statement sparked widespread discussion. What? Aiming for the Great Swallow, not moving to the Western Abyss province also goes through the Great Swallow. We are not attacking them. The End Dragon sect in the Western Abyss has had some trouble lately. Taking the chance while they are weak is a good idea. True Leisure went to recuperate and promised to help attack the Western Abyss province once he got better. As he left, he thought, this Great Swallow always hides someone powerful. It is better to avoid this in the future. In the north of the Great Swallow, the snow covered hundreds of miles. In the middle of it, a terrifying figure, hundreds of meters tall, with many demon kings gathered, kneeling before it. The old tree demon spoke first. We are awaiting your orders, Demon King. When should we spill human blood on the Great Swallow? The Ensu Demon King replied coldly. Spill human blood? Since when did I say I wanted to do that? Yang Tendong felt a terrifying spiritual sense sweeping over them, eventually focusing on Yanggang Tiandong. Demon King Jinsu noticed Yang Tendong's different aura. Half demon power, half human energy. A half demon, yet with such strong energy. This kid hit himself well. No wonder those demons noticed him. Interesting, thought the Ansu Demon King, and said, come here, little demon. Yang Tendong tensed up at the Yen Su Demon King's words, feeling a suffocating and oppressive aura. The Yen Su Demon King, as the Lord of the Abyss, caused fear to envelop Yang Tendong at that moment. Meanwhile, in the dungeons of the Nine Dragons sect, a person was chained to a massive stone. It was the sect master of the Nine Dragons sect, who was cursing Huayuan. In this life, I will be at odds with you. Opposite him was Huayuan, whose body was possessed by Hengan, holding a dagger. Huayuan asked, Elder brother, how long has it been since I returned from the Pure Jade sect? The sect master remained silent, but Huayuan continued. It has been 10 to 6 years. Ever since I returned, I have been under your control, needing your permission for everything. In order to gain your trust, I put in a lot of effort and finally brought you down. The Nine Dragons sect master said, who exactly are you? Before he could finish, Huayuan slit his throat. Huayuan walked out of the dungeon and his cunning disciples greeted him. An elder asked, Sect Master, what is our focus now? What are our goals? Huayuan replied coldly. Nothing special, just focus on aesthetic cultivation. Should we continue preparing to attack the Great Swallow? Hearing this, Huayuan was startled. No one is allowed to mention the Great Swallow again. I will be angered by anyone who mentions it. Yes, Sect Master. After the Ansu Demon King emerged, the Great Swallow cultivation world remained peaceful. One day, With nothing better to do, Hanju took out the Book of Misfortune to see if any of his enemies had died. Hanju complained to the Book of Misfortune. After so long, the Book of Misfortune remains the same. I was careless in the last battle. I didn't expect the enemy to be as cautious as I was. In the future, I must use my strongest strike to instantly kill them when facing an enemy. Not long after, Letendi's screams came from outside the cave, her face full of worry. Elder Han, something terrible has happened. Hanju felt his heart tighten, waiting for Luchingue to explain. Tell me, is it the Millennium Demon attacking or the Blood Flame Heavenly Gate? It's neither of those, it's about the Nine Dragons sect. Wei Yuan, who had a grudge with you before, has become the new sect master of the Nine Dragons sect. Do you think he might come for revenge? This reminded Hanju of Hangu's previous promise. Do you want me to become the sect master? Hanju was speechless. That works, with Heng Zun Tian successfully taking over as the sect master of the Nine Dragons sect. Hanju considered one of his worries resolved. The system notified. Shunan has developed a favorable impression towards you. The current favorability is 5 stars. Hanzhou reassured Luqing not to worry. Sect leader, rest assured. I made a promise with Wei Yuan. He won't bother us. Lixingui was relieved. That's great, Elder Han. Just as Hanju was about to return to his seclusion, Leng Yu stopped him. Elder Han, would you be willing to become the 4th leader of the Pure Jade sect? Over the years, you have contributed a lot to the Pure Jade sect, and your accomplishments are unparalleled. No one is more suitable than you. Hanju immediately and decisively refused. Being the sect leader really isn't good. Not to mention taking beatings all the time, there's also so much to manage, and most importantly, there's no time to cultivate. Elder Hanju, please reconsider. Hanju walked away without looking back, leaving Leng Yi standing there in shock. As he walked out of the innate cave, Luqingze couldn't help but look at the Fangyu tree. After so many years, Mount Attic Immortal had changed quite a bit. I remember that there wasn't this sapling before. Even in its germination period, it can produce such vast spiritual energy. What kind of heavenly material and earthly treasure is that? And that demonic beast? It has reached the Golden Core realm, even stronger than some disciples in the sect. It's baffling. They are even inferior to a chicken. Suddenly, a demonic aura swept past Lexindi, another Golden Core demon. Damn! A half-human, half-demon. Yang Tian arriving in front of the innate cave, Yang Qingdong knelt down with tears in his eyes, worshipping Hanju. Master, I have returned. You actually remembered to come back. Yang Tingdong immediately grabbed Hu's legs, crying. Master, I was captured by a demon king, went through countless adventures, and eventually became a demon king myself, with countless demons under my command. Command, which I could not break away from. Who would have thought that the Great Swallow had now seen the most powerful demon king in history? The original demon king of the Great Swallow could only submit to him, and he even forced me to become his adopted son. He has a grand conspiracy to tame the human race, the Great Swallow, and now he is preparing to lead the demons to the border of the Great Swallow. What do you say? Yang Tendong repeated. Jian Su, the demon king, is preparing to attack the Great Swallow. Now he is about to unify the Great Swallow. No offspring before this. Jian Su, the demon king, forced me to become his adopted son. Heng gritted his teeth and said, a disciple is also a son. The revenge of taking away a son is irreconcilable. How strong is he? Yan Tendong replied. He is extremely powerful, at least in the Union realm. Before he arrived, the strongest demon king in the Great Swallow was only at the spirit transformation realm, but Jian Su, the demon king, could send us to Vala with just his aura. I only managed to escape under the pretense of exploring the Great Swallow. Master, we must quickly flee. No, we are not fleeing. Yang Tendong was very confused. He knew that facing a nearly invincible millennia-old demon like Jiangsu, the demon king, his master would certainly choose to avoid danger. Then, Hanzhou suddenly had an idea. Go back to that demon king and tell him that I admire him a lot. Basically, speak well of me to him. Yang Tendong was very confused. Are you planning to defect? Hanju didn't bother with explanations, instructing Yang Tendong to quickly return and follow his orders. 3 months later, Hanzhou checked his messages on the relationship panel. Sut really did join the monster taming domain. This kid is something. In a bout of special attention, another message instantly energized Ranju. Jian Su, the demon king, has developed a favorable impression of you. The current favorability is 1 star. Finally, I wonder how Yang Tandong managed to persuade that demon king. If Hanju knew that Yang Tandong had shown his image to the demon king, he would be furious. At the moment, the demons were contemplating capturing Hanju for introduce him to Jiansu, the demon king, as the chief consort. Yan Tandong exclaimed. But master, you are not a woman. Don't worry, we demons don't care about such details. Look how satisfied our lord is after making a decision. Hanju took out the Book of Misfortune to curse Jiansu, the Demon King. Hanju thought, 4th level of the Union Realm. With my current cultivation at the 7th level of the Void Fusion Realm, winning a direct confrontation seems unlikely. But the Book of Misfortune can do it, and I'm not afraid of him finding out. Previous curses have proven that even high-level cultivators cannot trace the cause and effect of a curse. Although I haven't recorded directly capsizing an enemy, it can still be a nuisance regardless of cultivation level. As long as these people are on my friends list, the Book of Misfortune can specifically target them with curses. However, just writing down their name causes the curse's output to be insufficiently sustained, which is why I couldn't finish off enemies with it before. Li Chanlan is proof of this. The key point is that I've never cursed with all my strength before. A full power curse requires a considerable amount of spiritual energy. Let's try using all my spiritual energy to curse this time, and see what effect it has on the Demon King of Ansu. The Book of Misfortune released sparks of blood energy, making the name of the Yen Su Demon King especially sinister. Suddenly, the system issued a warning. Overusing the Book of Misfortune could lead to negative consequences. Finally, the Book of Misfortune gave its first feedback. Let's stop here. The impact of using the Book of Misfortune with all my strength is overbearing. 5 stars. But it does harm the enemy 1,000 times more than myself. I have decided that I will curse the Ansu Demon King once every 3 years, to prevent him from having ill intentions towards us. At that moment, in the heart of the demon realm, amidst the freezing snow, the Ansu Demon King was being tormented by the curse, suffering terribly. What distressed him the most was that he could no longer cultivate the demonic power in his body. On the contrary, it diminished with every breath he took. Cough, cough. Who did I offend to deserve such despicable tactics? Could it be they've returned? No, that's impossible. This, a miracle? The celestial immortals of the sky? Could it be that they know of my plan to annihilate the great swallowing and have come to warn me? 10 years later, as the Fang tree continued to grow, the nearest innate cave first benefited from a surge of spiritual energy. Hanju and Xing Hongxian, the lovely couple, lived a carefree life, hosting small events every other day and large ones every 3. However, this manga was a very serious cultivation manga, so the couple only indulged in eating snail noodle soup, savoring the delicacies of the world in. As they ate, Hanju detected the arrival of 2 true Moras from the fusion void in the Jade Pyramid, one of whom was an old acquaintance. Hanzhou told Xing Hongxian to continue eating, as he would be back soon, leaving Xing Hongxian eager for more. Alone in the room, she said, "Husband, come back soon. The food won't taste good cold. If not, I'll have to help you eat." Looking at the athletic immortal mountain before him, Shangwan Shui Hill. "So, this is the Jade Pyramid you spoke of? Could it be that there really are experts here as you claimed? I don't sense any strong sword intent. Seems to be just mediocre." The speaker was Shan Wanchuan, who previously persuaded Han Jiha to join the true martial array and was an expert at the 9th level of the Void Fusion Realm and the Sword Elder of the true martial array. Han Jiha advised him, "Don't speak so soon. I thought the same thing last time." Before they could continue, they heard a voice from behind. "What brings you to the Jade Pyuri?" Surprised, the two of them turned around, and Hang Jiha immediately bowed and said in a trembling voice, "Wang Jiha pays respects to Senior Shang Wanchuan." He thought, when he arrived, I didn't detect his presence at all. Could this be the senior that Hang Jihua described? Hang Jihua, let me tell you, you really need to practice your drawing skills. How could you make such a handsome guy look like a watermelon? Hang Jihua said embarrassedly. I really didn't know that senior had changed his hairstyle. That's not the point. Han Ju telepathically asked Han Jiha, if you're being kidnapped, blink your eyes. Han Jiha said respectfully, Senior, rest assured. We don't mean to cause any harm. This is Shang Wan Choi, the top sword cultivator of the Western Abyss Province's true martial set. We're here to exchange sword techniques with you. Hanzhou thought to himself. Exchange? Only at the 9th level of the Void Fusion Realm. Who does he think he is? Shang Wan Choi. It's Rio Oysta's classmate. Don't worry, it's just a friendly exchange. It won't affect the relationship between Jade's pure and the true martial set. Let's stop at the right time, Hanzhou thought. I avoid trouble whenever possible. How about this? I will make a move, and if you can handle it, I will consider myself defeated. Sheng Wanchuan, thinking that Hanzhou was afraid, immediately accepted. You underestimate me. I want to see what's special about this one move of yours. Han Jiha, understanding Han Ju's strategy, was terrified and speechless. Han Ju then said, I feel like I must disappoint fellow Daoist Shengwan, and suddenly drew his primal judgment sword. Seeing the sword energy released by Hang Ju, Hang Jiha thought, it's over, Senior is stronger than ever. 8 layers of the void fusion realm, spiritual power like a mountain exploding, all poured into the primal judgment sword. Shang Wanchuan also felt that this strike was extraordinary, as the sword energy swept across the sky and time seemed to stop. Shang Wanchuan's eyes widened and he instantly reached for the sword at his waist. In order to face Hanju, he thought he was dead, his life flashing before his eyes in an instant, standing there as if soulless. With a bang, Xiang Wanchuan's legs gave out and he knelt on the ground. Not only did I not catch it, I didn't even have a chance to resist. The top sword cultivator of the true martial set couldn't withstand a single blow from someone else. I even aspired to be the top sword cultivator in the world. How ridiculous it seems now. Hanju encouraged, don't be discouraged. As the saying goes, there's always someone better out there, and you can't see a rainbow without a little rain. Your talent is decent and you have a promising future. It's not impossible to win against me. I see potential in you. Hearing Hanju say this, Shang Wanchuan was stunned. I lost. After his defeat in the exchange, Shang Wanchuan was completely dejected. Seeing Shang Wanchuan kneeling before him, Hanju suddenly felt a bit of pity. Did I go too far? Perhaps he wasn't here to cause trouble, just seeking genuine guidance. I held my blow. He should be able to recover quickly. Let's not talk about today's events to anyone else. With that, Hanju turned to leave. Shang Wanchuan hurriedly stood up. Senior, please wait. May I know your Dao name? Hearing this, Hanju then charged out on his sword. Shang Wanchuan stood there in a daze, repeating the word reincarnation to himself. Heng Jihua consoled. I had it worse than you at first. This is nothing. At least you didn't get hurt. Reincarnation. Could it be that this Dao name belongs to a great power living incognito among us? It seems like I've been like a frog in a well. System notification. Shang Wanchoi has developed a good impression of you. Current favorability is 3 stars. Hanjo couldn't help but shake his head. Do these geniuses have something in common? Getting beaten up increases your favorability. To be fair, Hanju did look cool with that move, but the result was kind of embarrassing. The tree that Hanju split in half was known as the Pure Jade Tree, personally planted by the Sage of 9 Cauldrons on the day of the sect's founding. No, the Pure Jade Tree that was personally planted by our ancestor, the Sage of the 9 Cauldrons, on the day our sect was founded. It has been over 1,000 years. Who the hell cut it down? Blaine, knowing full well that it was Hanju who did it, could only swallow his bitterness. Hanju said guiltily. I was there when it happened. It was done by a cat. What kind of cat has so much power? And what is that crack in the ground? Do you know how difficult it is to redraw the map? Hanju also felt that this incident was too blatant, violating her principle of keeping a low profile. Some techniques become more powerful as my cultivation level increases. No, I need to discover a move that can hit enemies discreetly without affecting the surrounding environment. Meanwhile, in the icy and snowy Demon Lair, Demon King Diansu had been going mad ever since that bizarre wound. He would relive that nightmare every 3 years. Why this feeling again? Who is targeting me? He was close to the root of the problem. If it was indeed the work of an immortal, why not just kill him? One day, a lesser demon came to report. Report to the Demon King. His adopted son Yang Tendong has arrived. Jiansu Demon King thought. Fine, let him in. Yang Tendong bluffed, telling the Demon King of Yangsu, adoptive father, upon hearing about his troubles, his son came to alleviate them. Oh, you know about my troubles? Yang Qingdong took the opportunity to continue. Foster father, recently, I sought a fortune-telling from a wise man and he suggested that your problems are related to your business ventures. The Insu Demon King pondered. It will be? Could this curse be related to my plans to attack the human race? It's not impossible. It is better to believe and be cautious. Maybe this is really why the immortals cursed me, Yang Tendong asked. So, foster father, are we canceling our plans to attack the human race? Jiansu Demon King sighed in resignation. Let's cancel for now. You notify others. Yang Tendong outwardly agreed, but inwardly he was disdainful. Was it really that easy to fool him? Master, the Great Swallow is saved. But that is not enough. I have bigger ambitions. A man should not live under others forever. Just you wait, Demon King of Ansu. Eventually, your position as Demon King will be mine. Half a year later, Shangan Choin and Hang Jiha returned to the true martial set after being defeated by Hanju. Xiang Wanchuan's Dao heart was almost destroyed. To solidify your Dao heart, he continually challenged summoners in the valley during his journey back to rebuild his confidence. Sheng Wanchuan said to Heng Jiha, I feel like I have regained my confidence. Yes, and the fact that this master was of Highland lineage, and you defeated him, it shows your level. Not everyone is like Senior Hanju. I plan to seclude myself in the real martial set for a while to consolidate my heart. I will come back and challenge that senior again in the future. Wang Jiha exclaimed in surprise. Are you going back? I won't carry you back next time. At this moment, the sky underwent a dramatic change, displaying a purple glow, and Shang Wanchuan and Hang Jihua's swords began to tremble at their swords in horror. What's going on? As someone else comprehended the ancient sword intent, Hang Jihua looked at Shang Wanchuan in alarm. Don't you think? Shang Wanchuan said in denial, absolutely impossible. Comprehending the ancient sword intent once in a lifetime is already reaching the heavens. How could he? But in that direction, that seems to be where the great swallowing is. Elsewhere, on the peak of a towering mountain, a black-robed man was meditating, surrounded by a vast sea of cloud. He suddenly opened his eyes as the swords on his left and right vibrated intensely. He frowned and muttered, "Has anyone else had an understanding of the ancient sword intent? Strange, why can't I deduce more?" He took out a talisman scroll, placed it on the ground in front of him, and began to cast the spell. After a few moments, characters gradually appeared on the talisman, eventually forming two bold characters: reincarnation. What did this mean? Could it be that reincarnation refers to the laws of heaven and earth or a cultivator? Jade Peak was also enveloped in a purple glow. From the elders to the outer sect disciples, all of their swords were trembling, causing everyone to nervously gather around to discuss. The sky changed color. What's going on? Could a great being have emerged? The sect leader tried to calm everyone down. Stay calm. We haven't experienced all sorts of resonances before. It'll be fine this time too. Leng Zi was very frustrated. Why did Jade Peak face so many disasters and hardships during my tenure as sect leader? I wonder if Elder Hanju has been disturbed. If he leaves because of this, Jade Peak might never find another pillar like him again. At the same time, within the innate cave, a small sword pattern emerged between Hanju's eyebrows, vaguely visible. Hanju was comprehending sword intent, a type of sword intent unique to him. Suddenly, his consciousness found itself in an endlessly flowing river of sword paths. Han's consciousness awakened within this river. And up ahead, silhouettes illuminated by sword light appeared, blurry and indistinct. These figures moved slowly, and Hanju passed them one by one, entering a profound state. What is this place? I was clearly in my cave a moment ago. How did I end up here? Hanju's spiritual perception entered the river of sword paths, advancing step by step, overtaking sword cultivators moving along the sword path. At this moment, the system notified Hanzhou. System notification. This is the river of sword paths. By advancing within it, one can temper at will the path of the sword. The higher one's understanding of the way of the sword, the further one can go. Further and further away, with no one catching up from behind and no figures appearing in front of the light. Hanju speculated that those walking in front of him must have a higher mastery of the way of the sword. There are quite a few people. Fortunately, I don't go out much. If I don't face these people, it would probably result in defeat. I can't fall behind, I need to catch up to them first. Suddenly, a mysterious and terrifying sword intent erupted, sweeping towards Hanju, causing him to feel a moment of intense fear. A towering figure appeared in front of him, shouting angrily, "Mortals who wish to reach the realm of immortals, you are not worthy. Retreat!" Before the words could be absorbed, the figure, with furious eyes, launched countless bright and golden sword intents towards Hanju, catching him by surprise. The river of the sword path dissipated, and Hanju's spiritual perception was struck by the intensity of the sword intents that filled the sky. Hanju woke up as if from a dream, his consciousness returning to his body. He was panting heavily, his face covered in sweat, still recalling the encounter. Who was that person? With just the sword intent, he could have injured me from afar. He breathed a sigh of relief as he realized that the intent was not to send him to the ditch. Otherwise his primordial spirit would have been destroyed. At this moment, the system issued another notification. Congratulations on understanding the Tagra sword intent, also known as the reincarnation sword intent. Since this is the first time you have understood it, you have received a spiritual treasure. Congratulations on obtaining the 6th level Tai Gra meditation pillow. A spiritual treasure that can increase cultivation speed and calm the mind, helping to deal with inner demons. Hanzhou was a little shocked. Tai Gui, could it be that this transcends the moral realm and the immoral realm? Could it be the world after ascension? He speculated whether the people in the Sword Path River were all ascenders of the Great Vehicle. That would make sense, since their cultivation levels were high, so naturally their sword intents would not be weak. Hanzhou summoned a small sword in his palm. In the future, if anyone challenges me, I will specifically use this reincarnation sword intent to face and neutralize them, without causing too much of a stir. The purple glow in the sky began to fade, and Jade Peak returned to tranquility. Meanwhile, Banan diligently practiced his heartless sword technique. Although he was not talented, his dedication made up for it. This time, he finally managed to produce sword energy, cutting off the head of a wooden puppet. Banan looked at Wash, sword in hand, knowing that the emergence of sword energy meant that his emotional attachments were about to be severed. Excitedly, he rushed towards Hanju. Master, I have finally managed to channel sword energy. In the northern region of the monster domain array, hundreds of disciples were engaged in practices, hoping to comprehend the ancient divine abilities sooner. Such was among them, looking worried. Master, why haven't you taken action? If you don't do something soon, I will be forced to practice demonic techniques. He didn't want to follow that path, preferring to be a cultivator of the righteous path. At that moment, a figure appeared in the training grounds shouting, "Stop the training. Elder Shao has passed away. All disciples must pay their respects immediately." This announcement caused an uproar among everyone. What do you mean? Elder Shawa was full of vitality until yesterday. It must have been a brief resurgence of energy. I was listening to his teachings this morning. I can't believe he left so suddenly. Sudi followed the crowd, secretly excited. Could it be that Master has started to act within the monster domain array? In the ancestral hall of the monster domain array, Elder Cha's body was lying in the center, while other elders were casting spells to maintain his weak soul. The sect leader, Taoan, with a gloomy expression said, "Elder Shawa, we have done our best. This secret technique can only sustain the soul for a short period. You left suddenly today. Do you have any last words?" Xia was confused. "To be honest, I feel very suffocated. I don't even know how I died," Tukwon said. "From the signs, your death seems to have been due to natural causes, but the second elder deduced that you died from a curse. No wonder you were so unlucky." Apparently, it was a curse. Facing inner demons during cultivation, my cultivation level did not increase, but regressed. Do you know who might be responsible? "We will avenge you," Xia said. "It's hard to say, since I killed all my enemies without leaving any trouble behind." Wait, could it be him? Shua thought of Han's flawless face, and for some reason, he had a strong feeling that, ever since Hanju foiled his plan, misfortunes had been piling up and he frequently encountered inner demons during cultivation. It must be him. The more Shawa thought about it, the more agitated he became. "Brother, my brothers, my last words. Never go to the Great Swallowing and never provoke the Jade of the Great Swallowing." Before he could finish, his soul completely disappeared, like smoke. "Elder brother Shia, brother, didn't you leave the summoning incantation for that demonic pet? Where did you hide your treasures?" The crowd was shocked, looking up at the sky as a strong being disappeared so mysteriously. Tukwam frowned and asked the others, "Great Swallowing? What place is this?" Everyone looked at each other blankly. Sect leader, "How about we send someone to investigate?" Tuchuan shook his head. "No, it's too dangerous. Didn't you hear what brother said at the end? We can't even afford to provoke them." How formidable that must be. Hanzhou also received another system notification. "Your enemy Shao has passed away. Damn it, Lu, your true self, Demon King of Ansu. I wonder how long you two will last under the Book of Misfortune," Hanzhou said. Meanwhile, in the frozen and snow-covered demon lair, howls echoed non-stop. Demon King Jiansu was frantically hammering at the walls, tormented by the curse of the Book of Misfortune, wishing for death but unable to find it. He did not understand why, even though he had sworn not to attack the Great Swallow anymore, he still had to suffer so much. Yang Tiandong was also curious to know who the Demon King of Ansu had offended to be cursed like this. Out of nowhere, tears welled up in the Ansu Demon King's eyes as he held Yang Tiandong. "Yang Tiandong, tell me, what should I do?" Yang Tiandong's eyes moved nervously as he replied, "Foster father, it's possible that the immortals want to see your concrete actions." "Concrete? Explain." Yang Tiandong continued. "For example, how about visiting a human sect to make friends? Maybe the immortals will change their view of you." The Ansu Demon King's eyes lit up. "Visit in person? Are you joking? With so many sects and the Great Swallow, should I visit each one and smile at those cultivators? No way. You just need to choose any sect to visit as a gesture, to show your stance." "I see. You mentioned it before. Which sect is that Hanju in?" "In the Pure Jade sect. Then we'll set off tomorrow." "No, today." Yang Tiandong panicked inwardly. "Oh no, I haven't told Master yet." "Foster father, wait. Humans place great importance on first impressions. Need to transform your appearance. If done well, making friends will already be halfway there. Humans are so troublesome. I don't want to." "Are you sure this will only work halfway?" Soon after, Yang Tiandong arranged a simple outfit for the Demon King, and the two of them set off for the Pure Jade sect. A few days later, they arrived outside the gate. Seeing no one to welcome them, the Demon King of Ansu was displeased. "Leader of the Pure Jade sect, come out and find me," Yang Tiandong advised. "Foster father, making friends isn't like this." At this time, Han Ju, inside the natal cave, also received a system notification about the Demon King's arrival. Han Ju's first reaction was to conduct a mock trial. Why did he come? Act first, ask questions later. After saying that, Hanju started the trial. The Yen-Su Demon King was strong, and it took Hanju 10 seconds to fight him for the first time. In subsequent attempts, he directly used the primordial judgment sword with the reincarnation sword intent and abundant spiritual power to execute the 3 pure worlds extermination sword technique. After several attempts, Hanjo finally managed to instantly defeat the Yen-Su Demon King. Now let's see what this Demon King wants to do. At this time, Li Qinzi had already brought Demon King Jian-Su and Yang Qiandong to the base of the Assault Immortal Mountain, cursing at Yang Tiandong. It's an emergency. Hasn't the Pure Jade sect suffered enough over the years? The incident with the 19 sects was already bad enough, and now Yang Tiandong had brought someone even more significant. You, traitor! If it weren't for you being Elder Hanju's disciple, would slap you to death. Then, a cold voice rang out. I wonder what Demon King Jiansu's business is with our Pure Jade sect. The 3 of them were startled and looked up, seeing that the newcomer was Hanju. Yang Tiandong exclaimed with joy. It's the master. This time, Hanju's posture was completely different, giving Yang Tiandong a sense of courage. Li Qinzi was also silently admiring. Hanju truly possesses vast divine abilities. Having anticipated the Demon King's visit, Jian-Su accepts Pure Jade. Worthy of being the Hanju Elder, regardless of whether we can win or not, only this aura is victorious. The Yen-Su Demon King felt the pressure emanating from Hanju, and his sensitivity to battle aura as a demon allowed him to sense that Hanju had just been in combat. Is it an illusion? He clearly just fought, killing many strong beings, with even the blood energy of the Union Realm remaining. The murderous aura is too intense. Impossible. Where would the Great Swallow find so many? The opponents of the Union Realm. But his sword intent actually poses a danger to me. More importantly, it inexplicably feels familiar. But we never crossed swords. Are you here to cause trouble? Hanju said coldly again. The Demon King of Yen-Su immediately softened. No way. I have heard of Elder Hanju's renowned beauty, and I have always wanted to have a drink and chat with Elder Hanju. What did you say? The Yen-Su Demon King felt a wave of pressure coming towards him again. The Yen-Su Demon King quickly corrected himself. Oh no, I mean, I wish to have a drink with sect leader Li, alongside Elder Hanju, and become his brother. Please, grant me this honor, Elder Hanju. Yang Tiandong also hurriedly conveyed Demon King Jian-Su's recent experiences in secret. Demon King Jian-Su thought that he was cursed by the Immortals and wanted to reconcile with the Pure Jade sect to show his sincerity to the Immortals. Hearing this, Hanju almost laughed out loud. Ah, so it turns out that this Demon King really did come seeking peace. Knowing the Demon King's intentions, Hanju's attitude also changed. The case, then you should become friends. Seeing that Hanju's hostility had disappeared, the Yen-Su Demon King quickly took Li Qinzi out of the mountain. Just like that, after thousands of years, the Great Swallowing Demon race had its first direct encounter with the human race. The news that the Great Swallowing Pure Jade sect had formally signed an agreement to establish relations with the demon race shocked the Great Swallowing cultivation world, raising the status of the Pure Jade sect to an unprecedented new height. On the other hand, Hanjo decided that he would no longer curse Demon King Jian-Su unless he caused trouble again. Demon King Jian-Su converted. Xiao A is dead and has no area tasks left. Hanju was left with only cultivation. Feeling both at ease and a little bored, suddenly, the system sent out a notification. The Enlightenment Eccentric has developed a hatred towards you. The current hatred level is 4 stars. Who is this? You're getting into trouble all by yourself. At this moment, he was speaking, making his move on Hanju's wife, Xin Hongxian, in an ancient secret realm. Previously, Xing Hongxian and this gray-robed elder had been cultivating in the secret realm without bothering each other. But today, the elder acted out of character. The elder approached Xing Hongxian. I've been trying to comprehend this for so long to no avail. But you, a young girl, managed to learn the divine wall technique. Xing Hongxian replied, the technique does not belong to anyone. It goes to those destined to learn. Furthermore, I did not destroy the scroll, you can continue studying. But this divine technique was left behind by my sect's ancestors. You, young girl, is destined for our sect. Come back with me to the formless sect. This gray-robed elder was the Enlightenment Eccentric. Xing Hongxian wanted to politely refuse, so she made up an excuse. Senior, I already have a problem, and my cultivation partner is nearby. This secret realm connects to many places. If I am absent for too long, he will come looking for me. The nation, with its profound cultivation, calculated and discovered that Xing Hongxian did not have a predestined marriage partner. Having a master is inconsequential. But as for a cultivation partner, trying to threaten me, don't fool me. You don't have a predestined partner in this life. The reason why the elder wanted to capture Xing Hongxian was that her divine technique had matured, making her very suitable to be his disciple's wife and a human cauldron. In the midst of their conversation, Xing Hongxian took out a magic treasure and brandished his sword at the Enlightenment eccentric. He easily dodged it. With no other choice, Xing Hongxian resorted to threatening with his own life. If Senior continues to press this matter, I will end my life here, and I advise you to withdraw that foolish statement about me not having a predestined partner. Seeing that the young lady was unwilling to cooperate, the elder prepared to use magic to capture her. If you refuse to comply, then don't blame me for being rude. Suddenly, several beams of purple light appeared from the ground and enveloped Xing Hongxian. Moving too fast for her to dodge and instantly trapping her limbs, several purple vines tightly wrapped around Xing Hongxian, creating a very embarrassing scene. At this moment, someone from the formless sect reported, "Sect Master, something terrible has happened. Dong Wangxian has entered demonic cultivation, and your life is in danger. You must return immediately." Reluctantly, the elder had to retract his magic. What? Damn it, why now? This is not the time for trouble to arise. I will just let this woman cultivate for a while longer. That way, she will become independent. Even tastier later. Reluctantly let him go. Letting go of Xing Hongxian, the Enlightenment eccentric walked out of the cave, warning her that she had 10 years to consider. If she entered the formless sect of her own free will after 10 years, everything would be fine. Otherwise, he would harm both her and Hanju. Hanju had just seen everything through her puppet. "So you're here to steal my wall. Since it's like this, don't blame me for not being polite." Hanju checked the information on the Enlightenment eccentric to see the interpersonal relationship. Enlightenment eccentric. 7th level of the Union Realm. Master of the formless sect. An advanced cultivator. Because you are the husband of the disciple he is interested in. He holds a grudge against you and will soon act against you to avoid future trouble. Current hatred is 4-star, Enlightenment eccentric. Now, we are officially enemies. Ranjo took out the Book of Misfortune and wrote the old monster's name, planning to curse him with a thunder tribulation for 4 days and 4 nights during his advancement. The Union Realm's tribulation is terrifying, with thousands of thunderstorms covering the sky above the immortal ascetic mountain. The elders of the pure Jade sect gathered together, sensing the thunderstorm that seemed like the end of the world. The god-slaying elder has advanced again. We are already far enough away, but the power of the thunder tribulation still reaches here. Listening to the elders' discussions, Li Qinzi felt proud, as if he was being praised. Why bother with these talks? You just need to know that you can always rely on the strength of the god-slaying elder. Buyu Gang looked at the apocalyptic scene in the distance with a complex expression. His eyes filled with respect. I have been cultivating in the god-slaying elder style, but why is the gap between us widening? It must be a difference in talent. One day, he will ascend to immortality. Elsewhere, in a barren desert, another thunder tribulation had just ended. A shirtless man who was severely injured by the tribulation managed to break through it. Damn thunder tribulation, it was finally over. The power of heavenly thunder still cannot be countered by human strength. Withstanding a strike of heavenly thunder with my physical body was truly overkill. This person was Zhou Fang. Then, 2 figures appeared in front of him. How does it feel to be reborn? It cost me a lot of treasures to reshape your body. See if you dare to be reckless again. This time, the one who spoke was Mafuksu, with a woman behind him. Zofan addressed that person as Senior. Thank you, Senior, for reshaping my body. Zoe is willing to solve any problems for Senior. The woman said calmly. This junior brother of yours had a predestined relationship with me in his past life. Having saved me once, I am merely returning the favor. Past life, Zofan and Mafutio were curious. It's all thanks to your luck from a previous life. Your own luck is strong. I just went with the flow. Alright, this matter is concluded. I'm leaving, she spoke. She turned to leave. Mafuksu quickly asked, Senior, may I know your illustrious name? The woman in purple jumped, clouds appeared beneath her feet, and she left a message. My surname is Xian. Saying that, she flew towards the horizon, like an immortal. Zhou asked Ma Fuchu, which great figure in the cultivation world has the surname Xian? Ma Fuchu frowned and thought carefully. Are you asking me? Who else would I ask? Meanwhile, after weathering the storm for 10 days and nights, Hanju had finally reached the realm of union and was beaming with joy. Opening the door excitedly, he picked up the interpersonal relationship list to see what's new. Huh, Zofan died and came back to life? That's amazing. This guy must be the protagonist. At this time, the system also sent out a notification. You have successfully reached the realm of union. And with that, came a choice. 1. Immediately display his strength to the world and receive spiritual treasures and divine abilities. Continue cultivating in secret, seeking to become the most powerful and gain heavenly materials and earthly treasures. Hanjo chose the second option. After choosing to continue cultivating in seclusion, the system rewarded him with more treasures. The earthly immortal pumpkin seeds. These seeds, which bloom every 1,000 years and bear fruit every 10,000 years, are precious and can be used for many purposes, from refining magical treasures to giving birth to living beings. Checking his attribute panel, Hanjo discovered that his lifespan had increased to 27,900 years, a true achievement in the realms. He wondered how much longer his lifespan could extend if he reached the Great Vehicle realm. A few days later, Xing Hongxian returned and went to visit Hanjo. Qi, still not understanding why this woman always came to see his master, received advice from Bu Xianggan to mind his own business. Bu Xianggan, who had experienced many emotions, and was well versed in the relationships between men and women, shared his own story of unrequited love for Xiao Mei. He recalled his 20 years as her faithful follower, always silently protecting her and waiting for her to realize his love for her. Xiao Mei, despite her mediocre cultivation, was gentle and polite, attracting many suitors. Butch Angan, hoping that she would accept him, continued to silently protect and support her even when she faced difficulties, including abortions that he paid for. These setbacks were nothing to her. She quickly found a new love. Even though it wasn't me, I got used to it, because she always likes to save the best for last. One day, I'll have the last laugh. After so many years, all I wanted to do was make her understand one thing. If you don't love this loyal follower, you're just choosing to be with a loser. Bu Xianggan grew increasingly agitated as he spoke, leaving Chick speechless. He asked Chick why the master could effortlessly attract women, while he couldn't. Chick replied, "I think it's a matter of self-knowledge." After facing hardships in the secret realm, Xian Hongxian finally returned to the Mountain of the Assault Immortals. She told Han Ju about her difficulties with the eccentric of enlightenment, and he comforted her, but also made her reflect on her journey. Xing Hongxian shyly hugged Hanju's doll and said that she wanted to stay with her husband forever. Randio kept prodding her to think about it, but she was determined. The fight between Xing Hongxian and Hanju lasted for days, leaving Qi and Buchang worried. In the middle of the desert, Zhou Fan and Ma Fuchu gathered around a campfire. Zhou Fang, full of confidence, expressed his desire to be the strongest and prove himself to a woman. Ma Fuxu, reminding him of the importance of experience in cultivation, shared his own journey of growth. Those who were my enemies are still dedicated to their ascetic practice, trapped in their former realms were perfect examples, but Brother Hanju has exceptional talent. Now, defeating him would require at least the strength of the spiritual transformation realm. Ma Fuchu said. Zhou Fang replied, "No problem, but you reminded me. If I have the chance to return to the pure jade sector, I must fight with Hanju to make him realize that aseptic cultivation has no future. Then, taking him along, the three of us can explore the world together and make a big name for ourselves. Wouldn't that be wonderful? Oh no, why do I have a bad feeling about this?" The Formless sector, a cultivation sector with nearly 10,000 years of heritage, prides itself on its deep foundations. Its landscape is like an enchanted land, with continuous mountains and flowing waterfalls. At the base of a waterfall, a figure sits by the lake, suffering the terrifying impact of the waterfall. Eccentric and enlightened, standing in the distance, observes with satisfaction. This person is called Dong Wang Xian, a disciple of the enlightened eccentric. The enlightened eccentric lamented, "What a pity that woman never surrendered. Otherwise, with her as a cauldron, his cultivation would have been even stronger." At that moment, the enlightened eccentric's energy and blood suddenly became chaotic, and his primordial spirit trembled. A wave of blood surged up his throat, making him dizzy and causing him to fall down. "Ah, someone is cursing me again," Dong Wang Xian exclaimed anxiously. "Mind, master, you've been like this for a while. Do you know who's responsible? I'll go over there and kill them for you," Dong Wang Xian offered. The enlightened eccentric gritted his teeth and cursed. "I don't know, I can't deduce it either, but you don't need to worry about it. The curse isn't strong, I can bear it. Focus on your cultivation and strive to master the divine ability as soon as possible." The enlightened eccentric wondered who could do it, such a wretched 7th level union cultivator. "Damn it, once my disciple achieves success in his cultivation, I will make you pay," the enlightened eccentric swore. While the enlightened eccentric was cursing, on the other side, Han Ju sneezed. "Ah, I thought they were cursing me." At that moment, Han Ju was digging a hole in the ground, planning to plant Earth Immortal Gourd seeds. Hanzhou instructed Bu Xianggan to take good care of them. Bu Xianggan exclaimed, "Master has so many treasures. Did our ancestors include any notable figures?" Hanju smiled mysteriously and joked, "Guess what, I don't even know the origins of these techniques. divine skills and treasures myself. As they were talking, Lee Kingsley's voice came from behind. Elder Han, long time no see. You have more treasures in your mountain. Lee Kingsley greeted warmly. Hey, Elder Han, should we go in to talk? Hanju replied calmly. Let's listen. Which demon king is causing trouble this time? Or which sect is on fire? Li Qingzi blushed and hurriedly explained. None of those. That's great news. The Pure Jade sect recently discovered the ruins of an ancient sect. According to the scouts, it is rich in resources, including techniques, heavenly materials, earthly treasures, and even magic treasures. Hanju asked in confusion. Has this news spread? If an opportunity like this becomes widely known, Lee Kingsley stated, it might lead to a race between cultivators all over the world. Hanju asked, then what do you want from me? Lee Kingsley said expectantly, Elder Hanju, would you like to take a look? Elder Guan has already taken 5 elders and 100 core disciples to guard the place. The teleportation formation is almost ready. Hanju replied, in my opinion, although the Pure Jade sector has developed steadily over the years, the disciples lack experience. Flowers grown in a greenhouse cannot withstand the storm. You, as the sector leader, should be aware of this. This is a good opportunity to train disciples, to foster their independence, and to improve the overall quality of the disciples of the Pure Jade sector. And I must stay to protect the Pure Jade sector. Lee Kingsley nodded, even though it seemed a little strange coming from Hanju. He warned, be careful, such ancient sites might have restrictions. Lee Qingzi replied gratefully. I understand. If we find any heavenly materials and earthly treasures that can increase spiritual energy, I will send them over. As the two of them walked out of the cave, Lee Kingsley suddenly stopped and pointed at the Fusong tree ahead, asking, is it normal for this tree to be shaking like this? The branches of the tree were twisting crazily. Hanzhou asked his disciples what was going on. Bu Chongjin explained that the tree was acting strangely on its own, including moving at night. Hanzhou was surprised that the tree could have become sentient. He opened his spiritual sense to observe, but did not detect any primordial spirits. Hanju then pondered what the Fusong tree could be summoning, considering that it normally only attracts the golden crow after 10,000 years of growth. He checked to see if there was any important event happening in the current world, but nothing significant was found. The mystery surrounding the Fusong tree remained. Meanwhile, under another sea of clouds, there was a vast lake like a mirror, surrounded by mountains on all sides, forming a picturesque view that could attract the attention of anyone who passed by. On the other hand, whose coup was the first action in his period. Adriana Varela walked around with a potential intellectual dong in the hands of famous leaders such as Ultimo Affairs, Budget, Kaki, Rocky and Polly Addy, and Willine Barrick. They encouraged the front desk Martin Doe. After ascending, you could have transformed and made a name for yourself in the immortal realms with your strength. What are you waiting for? Xiang Qingjun jokingly replied, waiting for my cultivation partner. The woman spat out her tea in surprise, jokingly saying, you scared me. Being in love means digging wild vegetables for 20 years. Xiang Qingjun recalled with a faint smile on his lips. Originally, I went to the Jade Purity sect just to see Zhou Fang. Unexpectedly, I met a young man who caught my attention. This boy was a hardworking cultivator. After all these years, he must have achieved spiritual transformation. The woman asked in surprise. His talent is even greater than Zhou Fan's? Xiang Qingjun replied casually. Of course, one day I'll take you to see him. The woman was skeptical, saying, you're not fooling me, right? Suddenly, a streak of golden light flew across the sky. Coincidentally, Ong Tiandong and the Jiangsu Demon King also witnessed this rare spectacle. Yang Tiandong exclaimed, Foster Father, what is this? The Insu Demon King, clearly recognizing what it was too scared to speak. This is the descendant of the vermilion bird. A disaster. Shudo. This dog-like beast could breathe fire and devour flames. Wherever it went, it brought annihilation and disasters, thus being regarded by the world as a harbinger of fiery calamities, an extremely ominous symbol. At this moment, the disciples of the Jade Purity sect were unaware of the beast's approach, only feeling the night temperature rising and witnessing the bizarre sight of the fierce sun coexisting in the distance. The Jade Purity sect was in turmoil, with more and more disciples flying into the skies on their swords to confront it. Leading the charge was actually Qingzi and the elders. As the temperature, akin to the scorching sun, approached, if he arrived at the sector already pure, the sector might face the risk of annihilation. Li Qingzi immediately cast spells to activate the sector's protective formation. Each elder took their position, beginning to cast spells. In a moment, the protective formation was activated, enveloping the entire Pure Jade sector. Although the sector protective formation could withstand attacks from cultivators, Hanju believed that the formation could not block the high physical temperatures. At the same time, a message appeared before Hanzhou. The divine beast Judo is attacking, intending to occupy the Fusong tree. Zudal, at the 5th level of the Union realm, is a beast of disaster. Descendant of the vermilion bird, innately carries misfortune. Its body ablaze with the fire of the sun, capable of destroying heaven and earth. Hanju tensed up. Is it because of the Fusong tree? Damn it, it's too late to simulate a battle against Judo. Chick flew beside Hanju, shouting nervously. Master, I suddenly feel uneasy inside. What's going on? Buxingen also said. I feel an inexplicable panic as well. Hanju calmly declared. It's the effect of the bloodlines. I'll be right back. And he quickly flew on his sword, scaring Sheik and Buchangan, making them think that Hanju was abandoning them. Master, don't leave us behind. Judo's terrifying high temperature set the forests on the ground on fire, spreading towards the already pure sector at an exaggerated speed. All the disciples were terrified, but Li Qinzi, as the sector leader, stood firm, prepared to fight to the death with the elders. Stop! Hanju interrupted everyone. Advised Li Qinji not to confront Judo head-on and to quickly lead the pure jade sector to the Fusong tree. Li Qingzi, as the leader of the sector, quickly led the disciples to safety. Seeing the elders rushing forward, they realized how serious the situation was. Hanju replied seriously. Honestly, I would also like to flee, but this situation arose because of me, and I cannot let the people of the pure jade sector bear the consequences. Hanju took out the primal judgment sword, activating all of his spiritual treasures. Go now, I will buy you time. Li Qinzi immediately ordered the elders to retreat and disperse the disciples. We are retreating now, quickly. We cannot waste the opportunity that Elder Hanzhou is giving us. Soon, Judo arrived near the pure jade sector, pausing upon seeing Hanju, an obstacle. Get out of the way. He sped towards Hanju, spitting out flames. Hanju's eyes flashed with killing intent, and he fiercely unleashed the sword energy of the heaven-exterminating demon god. A black sword energy collided with the flames, shaking the entire area of the already pure sector. Zudal was somewhat surprised at the failure of his attack. There is actually someone here who can withstand one of my blows. In an instant, the sky darkened, and divine light began to condense in Judo's mouth. A flame that seemed to burn the heavens rushed at high speed towards Hanju. Hanju dodged with the blink of an eye, and the flame exploded on the ground, leveling the area outside the main gate of the pure jade sector. In order to prevent the attack from affecting the sector, Hanju used evasive maneuvers to gradually push Judo away, but some attacks still hit the sector. Hanju knew that they couldn't continue like this, as Judo's relentless attacks left no room to exploit. The two continued to clash, and in a careless moment, Hanju allowed Judo to get close. Damn, this is bad, Hanju thought. He can teleport. The beast's movement was incredibly agile, and although Hanju wasn't weak, a strike from the sword of the punishing demon gods of the heavens only managed to scratch Zudu's skin, gaining no advantage. This Judo is really tough, Hanju thought. Suddenly, Judo erupted with all of his spiritual power, like a bear. Seemingly preparing for his final attack, Hanju calmed down, observing the situation. Is he gathering energy for a big blow? Coincidentally, Hanzhou and Zudu unleashed their final moves simultaneously. The explosion of intense light caused the heavens and earth to lose their color. Both of them were swallowed up in the dazzling explosion, with the outcome unknown. On the other side, Li Qingzi was about to organize the disciples to retreat orderly, but was stopped by the Supreme Elder. The people were confused, but the Supreme Elder let everyone feel the temperature. Wondering if it had dropped significantly, Li Qingzi then realized that the temperature was gradually returning to normal. It's Elder Hanzhou. He saved us once again. In the final confrontation, Hanzhou killed Judo with one blow from the three pure worlds' extermination. And it was fortunate that his movement was slightly faster. A second slower would have been fatal. The system sent a warning. For the first time, by killing a divine beast, you have obtained a divine swordsmanship skill inheritance. Congratulations on obtaining the divine skill, Heaven and Earth Mysterious Boundary Breaking Finger. Another system prompt revealed that the divine beast Vermilion Bird harbors hatred for Hanju and will seek revenge after its ascension. Anju was bitter about the situation. Why blame me when they can't take care of their own children? He thought. He realized that he would need to be stronger than the Vermilion Bird to avoid revenge. As for Zhu Dou's remains, Hanjiu realized that leaving them there might attract the hatred of deities. Meanwhile, Li Qingji rushed over anxiously and asked about the Sunlight Demon. Randio didn't dare to directly say that it was a divine beast, as killing a divine beast might lead to gossip. He deceived Li Kingsley, saying that it was a powerful demonic beast, Possibly. Someone the Nine Cauldron sage had offended in the past, sending his dog to take revenge. Li 15 had no choice but to accept, claiming that he would send disciples to clean up the wreckage. Han Ju said, "My cub is feeding now, so there is no need to worry about cleaning up." The appearance of the beast sweeping through the Great Devourer terrified everyone, but it disappeared into a corner of the Great Devourer, leaving an unsolved mystery to the world. The last place where the beast disappeared was within the influence of the pure Jade sector, making the sector the center of attention for a time. Various sectors tried every means to befriend the pure Jade sector, fearing that they would be left behind. Only the Ansu Demon King knew that it was the divine beast Judo that had fallen into the Jade Pure sector. Fortunately, we had established relations early on. It's best not to provoke them. Thus, the Jade Pure sector remained peaceful for a few more years. One day, Li Qinzi came to visit Hanju. Before Li Qinzi could speak, Hanju stepped forward saying, "Don't come and offer me opportunities anymore, I won't go." Li Qinzi coughed awkwardly and said, "This time it's not good news. The Great Way's Blood Flame Heavenly Gate and the Ancient Origin Province's Formless sector have gone to war." Hanju was speechless. They're starting a war from so far away. They must be really bored. It seems that both sectors had possible grudges with Hanju. It was said that Dong Wang Xian of the Formless sector had killed the son of the master of the Blood Flame Celestial Gate. With the Blood Flame Celestial Gate monument, they could not tolerate this, and directly started a war. Li Kingsley then mentioned the ancient ruins discovered earlier. There were indeed inhabitants in the ruins. A blind old man. Guyu accidentally triggered a mechanism and freed him. He had been trapped in the ruins for over 1,000 years and is of incomprehensible power. Hanzhou planned to use the system to verify the man. In front of Li Qinzi, he pretended to use divination, acting as if he was calculating. This person's origin turned out to be remarkable. Named Xiao Yao, he possessed the strength of the 9th level of the Void Fusion realm. He was the top prodigy of the Heavenly Immortal Mansion 5,000 years ago, the sole survivor of the ancient Heavenly Peak sect. Hanju asked Li Qingzi, "Have you ever heard of the Heavenly Peak sect?" Li Qingzi replied, "Yes, there are mentions of this sect in historical records. It was said to be a great sect 5,000 years ago, but it was destroyed by divine punishment for offending the gods." More Elder Han. "What does this have to do with the blind old man?" Hanju explained, "It's very related. That blind Xiao Yao is the sole survivor of the Heavenly Peak sect." Li Qinzi's eyes widened in shock as he took a deep breath. "So by sheltering him, aren't we inviting divine punishment upon ourselves?" Saying this, Li Qinzi was about to kick the blind old man out. But Han Ju quickly stopped him. "Xiao Yao is at the 9th level of the Void Fusion realm. Do you think you can just send him away? Let him stay in the pure sector for now. I will find him when I have time." Whether friend or foe, knowing one's enemies and oneself guarantees victory in every battle. For the sake of safety, Hanju decided to simulate a battle against Xiao Yao. Fighting against this former top prodigy of the Heavenly Immortal Mansion, the advantage of a simulation test is that the opponent puts in their utmost effort with every move. Fighting to the death, allowing Hanju to understand how formidable the opponent's limit state can be, based on past experience. The first move is usually their main technique. However, Xiao Yao's technique was truly cunning. He was able to kill thousands of clones instantly. Not only did this give him a numerical advantage, but the aura of tens of thousands of Void Fusion Realm cultivators was also overwhelming. Hanzhou found it difficult to eliminate him instantly. He could only continue with the simulation tests, searching for the best way to instantly defeat Xiao Yao. In a dark gorge filled with fallen corpses, a terrified Suki knelt on the ground trembling. The elite forces of the monster subduing sect had just been annihilated, and he looked nervously at a figure in the distance, begging, "Demon Lord, I am just an immortal, please spare my life." The person was surrounded by an aura as profound as the cosmos. With a face as mysterious and terrifying as a black hole, the Demon Lord spoke nonchalantly. "Kid, if I wanted you dead, you would already be dead. The fact that you are alive is your opportunity. Understand the opportunity. Senior intends to pass on a supreme technique to me." To which the Demon Lord simply said, "Supreme technique? If you are willing to grant me a wish, why not pass on a supreme technique?" The Demon Lord saw that Su Qi's fate was extraordinary, difficult to comprehend. But he did not realize that Suki's fate was actually a misfortune. At that moment, Suki had no choice but to agree to do what the Demon Lord wanted. Little did he know, what the Demon Lord wanted was a massacre in the human realm. Suki expressed his horror. "Senior must be joking. I'm afraid I can't help with that. The Lord never judges people badly. You really have a talent for this." Meanwhile, Han Ju was still engaged in mock battles with Xiao Yao. Xiao Yao, worthy of his status as the top prodigy of the immortal mansion, Celestial, pushed Han Ju, a cultivator from the Union realm, to his limit. It took Han Ju a total of 89 minutes to win for the first time. The second battle lasted 23 minutes. Only on the fifth time did he manage to reduce the time to just 3 minutes. But that was not enough. Han Ju sighed, deciding to use her new ultimate move, the Heaven and Earth Mysterious Boundary Breaking Finger, with a gesture towards Xiao Yao. Han Ju easily defeated him in just 2 seconds. Now that was satisfactory. However, he knew that he shouldn't start with his finishing move right away. It would be a waste of time. Over the years, Xiao Yao was the first person to truly arouse Han Ju's interest. If he joined the pure Jade sector, it would bring more stability to his cultivation. Meanwhile, the system brought an update, revealing some interesting developments in Han Ju's social circle. Looks like something fun is happening out there. My puppy is about to evolve. Incidentally, the cub was extremely interested in Judol's corpse. Han Ju turned the corpse into dried meat, which the chubby chicken devoured daily. The dried meat made by the master was incomparable. Bu Qiangang ran to him anxiously. There are problems. The Fusong tree is moving again. What? Again? Can't you keep quiet? Bu Chang'an suggested shrewdly. Ah, master, don't you think she's acting like she's in heat? After all, when it came to heated matters, Butch Angan knew more than his master. Han Ju had an epiphany. The Fusong tree could attract Judo and the Golden Crow, so there must be a way to utilize them. The chick also spoke. Not to hide it from you, master, but lately I've been feeling like she's been calling me to come up. But I was afraid that you would disapprove, so I didn't dare. Right, Judo is a divine beast, and the dark prison chicken is the reincarnation of the previous demon saint. Her status shouldn't be too far off. Furthermore, Shiki consumed Judo, so his blood should contain some of its essence, which should satisfy the Fusong tree. Why not? It's natural for a phoenix to reside in a tree. Han Ju encouraged Tiki to climb the tree. Really? But you'll have to build your own nest. Excited, Tiki flew over to the Fusion tree. Once Tiki built his nest and settled down, the Fusong tree stopped shaking. Han Ju finally breathed a sigh of relief. The Fusong tree has calmed down, now it shouldn't bring any more trouble. As soon as one wave subsides, another one emerges. The spiritual energy here is abundant. This should be the immortal Mount the Arrow. I assume you're the strongest, the elder who slays gods. A voice came from behind Han Ju. The speaker was the prodigy Xiao Yao. Han Ju didn't expect Xiao and Ao to come straight to him and ask, "What brings you here?" "Fellow Taoist," Xiao Yao declared. "Your sect leader has been inviting me to join the sect, but my situation is quite unique. Here's the deal. I will join the Jade Purity sect if you, on behalf of the sect, can withstand a palm strike from me." What? Isn't that a little arrogant? Wasn't that line normally for the master to say, "There's a new character now"? Han Ju wasn't surprised, knowing that this confrontation was inevitable. "Alright, let's test our strength in the sky." But Xiao Yao declared, "No need," and immediately raised his right palm, delivering a full-force strike. A deadly aura filled the air as his palm struck Han Ju's chest squarely. Master, Shiki, and Bu Xiangyin were terrified. Xiao Yao's palm struck Han Ju squarely in the chest, but the impact seemed to go down with all of its force dissipated. Although Xiao Yao was blind, he could tell that Han Ju was covered in defensive spirit treasures. "Since you're using so many spirit treasures, I won't hold back. I'll attack with all my strength." Han Ju thought to himself. Is that so? Full strength at the 9th level of the Void Fusion realm. Is this a duel or an assassination? Despite his inner complaints, Han Ju remained calm on the surface. "If I can hold on, will you really join the Jade Purity sect and follow the sect leader's orders?" Xiao Yao replied, "I never go back on my word. Indeed, I am in need of a place to stay, and the Jade Purity sect has left a good impression on me." Hang nodded, waiting for the palm strike. "Then let's proceed." Xiao Yao once again raised his palm, gathering spiritual energy. The seas of clouds above churned tumultuously, this palm clearly more powerful than the last. Despite being blind, Xiao Yao could feel Han Ju's confidence. The publicly acknowledged strongest in the Jade Purity sect is only at the low levels of the spiritual transformation realm. His confidence in accepting this challenge. Could he be at the Void Fusion realm? The strike hit Han Ju square in the chest with a thunderous sound, instantly dispersing the surrounding immortal energy and dust, creating a whirlwind that even sent some of the spectators with lower cultivation flying. As the dust settled, Xiao Yao was shocked. "Union realm? You're a Union realm cultivator. A sect without even a single fusion void cultivator has a powerful one from the Union realm." Han Ju, with his hands behind his back, said calmly. So, about the agreement we just made, it still stands, right? Xiao Yao is straightforward. The gentleman's agreement is worth 9 cauldrons. From now on, I am a member of the Jade Purity sect. At the same time, Hanju also received a system notice. Xiao Yao has developed a favorable impression of you. The current favorability is 1 star. Internally pleased, Hanju said, please keep my cultivation level a secret. Xiao Yao asked in surprise. The people from the Jade Purity sect don't know? Hanju explained. My cultivation level is quite outstanding in the Jade Purity sect. I also worry that the sect might cause trouble by relying on my strength. Other than the fact that I am a member of the longevity sect, I do not desire anything and usually devote myself to aseptic cultivation. Not many people are aware of my true power. Xiao Yao couldn't help but admire Hanju the most. Such a temperament in a cultivator is rare. If only the Heavenly Peak sect had been half as low-key back then, they wouldn't have faced their calamity. Let's leave it at that. Go find the sect leader. He will arrange a position for you. After they parted ways, Xiao Yao went to the main peak to settle his entry formalities with the sect leader. Upon returning to the entrance of the innate cave, Cheek gnawed on a piece of dried meat and asked Hanju, Master, why didn't you teach him a lesson? Shouldn't it be a palm from him and a sword from you? Hanju retorted helplessly, if I hit you with a sword, would you have the courage to take it? I'm too cute. How could Master hit me? Tick was getting a little too cocky. Hanju thought, needing to control it. The surviving chicken's personality couldn't crumble. I need to remind you that our current situation isn't as good as you think. You saw that man's eye just now. That's because of a curse from the immortals. Chick's eyes widened in shock. A curse from the immortals? Yeah, it's unpredictable. Standing anywhere is dangerous, so don't get ahead of yourself. Also, I didn't want to tell you this, but the jerky you've been eating is made from the judo body. He is a descendant of the divine beast Vermilion Bird. Haven't you noticed the changes in your body, all thanks to the divine beast? Then, you need to practice diligently and become stronger. In case the Vermilion Bird seeks revenge, I've deduced that the Vermilion Bird already holds a grudge against us, so I need to retreat and cultivate as well. Worm, Vermilion Bird, Master, why didn't you say so earlier? Give the rest of that jerky to the dog then. Chick completely panicked, scared and even feeling nauseous, but it was too late to spit out a judo now. The next day, the Jade Purity sect announced the induction of a new elder, the Void Fusion Realm Elder Xiao Yao. This news excited the entire sect. Li Qingji has prepared a warm welcome ceremony. Today is a joyful day. Let's welcome the new elder Xiao Yao from the Void Diffusion Realm. Accept the purity of Jade. Wow, this is a realm that only ancestors have reached. The Jade Purity sect is truly improving. I need to hurry up and present a gift to gain elder Xiao Yao's favor. At the end of the day, the Jade Purity sect is the pillar of the sect. Who could have known that Elder Hanju was once just a simple medicine servant in the outer sect, and the Jade Purity sect itself was a minor sect in the Great Swallow? It can only be said that the day Elder Hanju decided to join the Jade Purity sect was the luckiest day since the sect's founding. Without Elder Han, the Jade Purity sect as we know it today would not exist. 5 years had passed in the blink of an eye. Compared to the glory of the Jade Purity sect, the cultivation world was undergoing tumultuous changes. The Heavenly Gate of the Great Way Blood Flame bypassed the Great Swallow and attacked the Formless sect in the ancient Origin province. The two super sects fought fiercely for 5 years. The Blood Flame Heavenly Gate was completely defeated by the Formula sect, with their guests from the Union realm suffering serious injuries and hiding somewhere to recuperate. True Laser had little hope for the current situation. Senior brother, we have lost. We have lost again. It's difficult, he said. The guest from the Union Kingdom was seriously injured and fled to an unknown location to heal, he added. The leader of the Lubame sect also sighed. Advancing towards the Great Road with overwhelming force, our Blood Flame Heavenly Gate is finished. But True Laser had a sudden insight, not necessarily junior brother. Why don't we surrender? These are tough times, Lubame. We have a blood feud with the Formless sect. Even if we surrender, they won't forgive us. But we don't need to surrender to the Formless sect. We can join the Jade Purity sect, True Laser said. Jade Purity sect, Lubame exclaimed in surprise. True Laser explained. We can join the Jade Purity sect as long as our bloodline is preserved. In the cultivation world, having branches and alliances is not uncommon. Think about it. The sects around the Great Road are weaker than our Blood Flame Heavenly Gate, and the sects strong enough to suppress the Formula sect are too far away from us. Our only choice is the nearest Jade Purity sect. Luba questioned me. Could it be that the Jade Purity sect is stronger than the Formless sect, able to withstand the pressure of an attack from the Formless sect? If Jade Purity is accepted, perhaps it really can, the True Laser thought silently. 5 years later, Hanju finally came out of her cave to stretch her legs. With the dark prison chicken guarding the place, Hanzhou finally came out of her place. The fusion tree has not caused any more trouble. The Fusong tree and the earth immortal vine are growing well. Along with Wuchengan, the spiritual energy of the immortal ascetic mountain has been continuously improving. Life is still so beautiful. Hanzhou has finally also advanced to the third level of the Union Kingdom. Everything is peaceful and beautiful. Hanzhou habitually opened his social networks to check messages. The dog's life really is full of variety. Remo and the Zhou brothers are not having a bad time either. Master is about to achieve spiritual transformation. Xiao Yao is still being cursed by the immortals. Xiao Yao will bring disaster to the Jade Purity sect. Instead, Su Qi is really a headache. His divine status has only just awakened. The misfortune he brings is already terrifying. How exaggerated will it be once it awakens? But speaking of which, Suki is quite pitiful. The people around him always die because of him. Yet, he doesn't know that it's his fault. The heavens sent him to the mortal world and erased his memories of his past life, allowing him to wreak havoc among the mortals. Last time with the judo, it caused quite a commotion, but the heavens did not intervene. This makes one question his intentions. The heavens seem to not be as benevolent as the rumors say. They are good at averting disasters, but they do not provide clear benefits. Could be controlling the population of the mortal realm. Meanwhile, at the Jade Purity sect, visitors have arrived. Li Qingzi, Xiao Yao, and a group of elders gathered together when Yan Lin from the Blood Flame Heavenly Gate sect came to pay homage. Li Qingzi and the Supreme Elder were surprised to hear that the Blood Flame Heavenly Gate wanted to merge with the Jade Purity sect. They suspected that this might be a ruse. Yan Lin explained that his sect leader proposed that if the Jade Purity sect accepted, the Blood Flame Heavenly Gate would become the 19th peak of the Purity Jade sect. This sparked debate among the elders, as the Blood Flame Heavenly Gate was stronger than the Purity Jade sect. Li Kingsley urged caution, suggesting that they first deal with the Formless sect, another major threat. Yan Lin was frustrated by the Jade Purity sect's hesitation in accepting the proposal. Xiao Yao suggested a duel to settle the matter. Meanwhile, Li Qingzi discussed the proposal with Han Ju. Worried about the consequences of accepting the Blood Flame Heavenly Gate, Han Ju pondered the strength of the Formless sect and whether accepting the Purity Jade could withstand them. Li Kingsley sighed, worried. In fact, the disciples of the Formula sect invaded the border of the Great Swallow some time ago. Many people were captured by them, and our disciples often lost in the clashes. Furthermore, they sent several Void Fusion Realm experts to occupy parts of the Great Swallow. It was thanks to Elder Xiao Yao that we were able to suppress them. Hanzhou was surprised. Could it be that this enlightenment eccentric is targeting me? No, he shouldn't know that I secretly cursed him. It seems like we have no choice. Since Formless accepts to annex the Great Path, the Great Swallow will be their next target. We are truly in danger. As they were talking, they heard a rumble coming from outside. It's Elder Xiao Yao and Yan Lin from the Blood Flame Heavenly Gate. Why are they fighting? Qingzi asked him anxiously. Hanzhou replied calmly. Don't worry, it seems to be just a duel. With Xiao Yao at the 9th stage of the Void Fusion Realm, Yan Lin is certainly no match for him. But why is Xiao Yao disguising his power? Who taught him this? Suddenly, the fight intensified, leaving Li Qingji astonished. Xiao Yao is using a technique that I've never seen before, he exclaimed. Hanzhou suggested, if we want to absorb the Blood Flame Heavenly Gate, we need to suppress them first, otherwise, even if they join us now, they might still bring trouble later. Li Qingzi agreed resignedly. It seems that Xiao Yao and I share the same thought, both wanting to suppress the Blood Flame Heavenly Gate, so he proposed the duel. After the fight, Yan Lin accepted defeat and agreed to convey the sect's intentions to their master. Heng reminded that since they sought protection from the Jade Purity sect, the Blood Flame Heavenly Gate should act accordingly. As Han Ju pondered the future, the system alerted. Fate Bearer detected, wish to see your origins. It seems that another twist is coming. Murong Qi, at the 4th level of the Gold Core realm, was reborn as the war god of the Upper Realm Divine Palace. With the title of Divine Emperor of Wondrous Truth. Mysteriously, he was drawn into the sect Jade Purity by the primordial spirit Ginseng. Hanzhou was surprised. The Divine Palace's war god, Divine Emperor of Wonderful Truth, that's really interesting. Meanwhile, Gu Yugong led a group of cultivators on a tour of the Jade Purity sect. They weren't dressed in the sect's typical robes, presumably because they were newbies. Gu Yugong persuaded them by saying that the Jade Purity sect was the best option for renegade cultivators to become officers. Suddenly, someone pointed ahead and asked, Elder, is that also a peak of the Jade Purity sect? He was referring to the aseptic Immortal Mountain. Gu Yugong advised the new disciples not to go beyond that mountain, or they would be expelled immediately. The person who asked was Morongchi, who looked young, perhaps only 15 or 16 years old, possibly because he had taken a pill to maintain youth early. The powerful aura came from the ascetic immortal mountain. Does the god-slaying elder accept disciples? Morongchi asked. Guyugang hesitated for a moment. He accepts disciples. Previously, there was a monk who knelt at the foot of the mountain, years before successfully becoming a disciple. Hearing this, the renegade cultivators were all startled. Kneeling for 5 years? What great perseverance! Morongchi made a mental note. And what about that? What does it mean to kneel for 5 years? He said to the elders, I won't be coming back anymore. I plan to stay here and become a disciple of the elder who defeats gods. As if sensing something, the primordial spirit Ginseng sneezed ominously. 2 months later, the sky once again turned purple dusk, leaving the world in shock. Purple dusk? Does anyone else understand the eternal path of the sword? Huang Jihao looked up at the sky and said, it couldn't be him again, could it? Shengguan Shoujin said nothing. It was actually Hanju. With her exceptional skill in the way of the sword, Hanju made new progress, allowing her sword finger to further break the mysterious boundaries between the sky and the earth. As she dove into the river of the way of the sword again, the world produced anomalies along with it. This time, Hanju was not surprised, but a little nervous. I hope I don't encounter that mysterious existence again. Watching the many figures advancing around her, Hanju sighed. Everyone is making progress. I wonder how I'm doing. Suddenly, Hanju felt her speed increase beneath her feet, moving faster and faster, unable to stop. Before long, Hanju had surpassed many people. After running madly for a while, Hanju realized, if that person discovers me advancing, it's over. He had barely finished speaking when a figure appeared in front of him. Hanju's heart skipped a beat. Here comes that person again. The figure was enveloped in sword light, making it difficult to discern his true face. He scolded Hanju. You again, I already gave you a chance last time. Don't push your luck. Hanju almost cried. Senior, oh senior, I didn't mean to offend, I just can't hold myself back. Please help me. Before he finished speaking, Hanju had already overtaken him. The person thought, this is the first time in many years that I've seen someone so fast. In an instant, Hanjo was running madly towards the threshold of the Tai kingdom, and if he didn't cross it, he would rush in. At the last moment, someone grabbed his collar. It was the guardian who stopped. Or Hanju, you clearly don't have a past life, so how can you have such an aptitude for the way of the sword? Ordinary people find it difficult to take even a single step. However, you seem to be chased by the river of the way of the sword, as if you were being fed by it. Are you cheating? Hanju felt a little embarrassed, since he couldn't reveal that he had a system. Everything has a beginning, perhaps one day I will become someone else's illustrious past life. The mysterious sword cultivator didn't respond. After 3 breaths, he waved his hand. The Tai kingdom isn't something you can control right now. Be careful of the backlash. You should go back. With that, he extended his finger as if to pinch it. What? Are you going to pinch my forehead? With a hissing sound, Hanju's consciousness spun around him. When he opened his eyes again, he was back inside the innate cave, thanks to his progress in the path of the sword. Hanju's aptitude for this path had increased once again. The spiritual energy of the path of the sword rose to the heavens, piercing through the clouds. Morongchi, who was waiting at the base of the mountain to become a disciple, saw this miraculous sight. That's right, there must be something I want on this mountain. I wonder if the god-slaying elder will notice me. Oh, heavens, please. Huh? Why is there someone at the base of the mountain? A voice sounded next to Morongchi. Could it be that the god-slaying elder had come? Morongchi looked up and saw a short, plump figure looking at him in bewilderment. Sun Shanin looked at Morongchi foolishly. Infatuated. This young man is so handsome. Looking at the short and chubby figure in front of him, Morongchi was puzzled. This guy is so ugly. Could it be the god-slaying elder? Without saying another word, Morongchi knelt down with a slap. Please, god-slaying elder, accept me as your disciple. Sun Xianyin was startled. He blinked at Morongchi. My realm is higher than his, so making him my disciple isn't difficult, but I should first consult my master. After asking his name, Sun Tianing told him to continue bowing and then went up the mountain. Morongchi thought that the elder would be able to save him, but that wasn't the case. The elder was testing him, so he continued bowing, arriving in front of the innate cave. Sun Kainan told Han Chu about Morongchi's desire to become a disciple. Han Chu found the situation strange. Someone from outside wants to take you as a master? Sun Qianyin said that she liked the person quite a bit and would accept him as a disciple if the master didn't object. Han Chu thought for a moment. This person is the reincarnation of the wonderful divine emperor of truth. It would be good to build a good relationship with him and take him to cultivate in front of the Fusong tree. From now on, you will be supervised by Sun Jianan, and you must not stray from Fusong without permission, Han Chu decreed. Sun Kainan was overjoyed and hurriedly thanked him. Meanwhile, Morong Chi was still kneeling, facing the test. Suddenly, Sun Qian appeared in front of him. "Come on, follow me up the mountain." Morong Chi began to call him master with sweet words. A year passed and the master of the Blood Flame Heavenly Gate sect, Lubumi, and the real laser arrived, determined to join the Jade Pur sect. Hanju, upon seeing them, released his oppressive aura, immobilizing both of them. Lubumi and the real laser felt the terror and knelt down. Unju then gave her instructions and released them, warning of the consequences of any future regrets. Lu Bumi explained the precarious situation of the Blood Flame Heavenly Gate and asked for help. Hanju agreed to help when the time was right. The two left, convinced that joining the Ajipura sect was the right choice. Back in his cave, Hanju began to plan how to deal with the eccentric of enlightenment. He decided to cast a spell using the Book of Misfortune. A month later, the enlightenment eccentric spat out blood again, unaware of who was cursing him. Upon hearing the news of the Blood Flame Heavenly Gate's union with the Pure Jade sect, the enlightenment eccentric sighed and proposed a truce. Negotiate peace. Dong Guangxian tensed up upon hearing this. If we do this, they'll think we're afraid of the Pure Jade sect. With our strength, facing both sects wouldn't be difficult. The enlightenment eccentric had an insight. It's that woman from the Pure Jade sect. Ever since we tried to capture her, the curses have started. Could it be connected to them? Dong Wangxian claimed that he could capture Lu Bami personally. But the enlightenment eccentric interrupted him, reminding him of the Heavenly Immortal Mansion's trial. Reluctantly, Dong Wangxian agreed to follow his decision. Meanwhile, at Asita Immortal Mountain, Morong Chi was training with Sun Qian. Dong Wangxian realized his mistake when he saw Xing Hongxian following the wrong master. Blood Flame Heavenly Gate, seeking refuge in the Pure Jade sect, the formless sect suspended their attacks. This allowed the Pure Jade sect to grow rapidly, attracting more adherents. The Great Swallow enjoyed a decade of peace. On his 400th birthday, Hanzhou chose to remain secluded and received the perfected heavenly spiritual bracelet as a gift. Soon after, Ji Lengchan challenged the Pure Jade sect, seeking to become the greatest cultivator in the world. He has yet to be defeated. A disciple of the Heavenly Immortal Mansion has heard of this place. And today I finally meet one of his disciples. He immediately used a strength test on me. I waited outside for a long time, but there was no response. Ji Lengchan began to speak with disdain. The already pure sect that houses the Blood Flame Heavenly Gate has no one who dares to fight me. This is disappointing. I offer 1 million high-grade spirit stones. The winner gets to keep them. Isn't that enough? I'll add a spirit treasure. Seriously, the Pure Jade sect is full of cowards? People from the Pure Jade sect, come out. If you had the courage to establish your sect, why don't you have the courage to fight? Li Qinzi didn't dare to make a sound. He just hid away to read magazines in seclusion. With elders Hanju and Xiao around, they should take care of the sky if it fell. Xiao Yao felt that the opponent was not simple, so he wanted Hanju to act. Hanju found this annoying and wanted Li Qingzi to go. He was afraid of being attacked. But not of attacking, losing. It's fine, as long as Ji Langshan is pushed away. Just like that, an embarrassing scene unfolded. A great cultivator from the Union Realm challenged, but no one responded, nor did anyone come out to welcome him. If no one comes out in 10 breaths, I will flatten the Pure Jade sect. Ji Langshan was angered, preparing his magic to bombard the sect. Hanzhou directly gave in to avoid trouble. Hearing this, Ji Langshan frowned. You've already come. It's not that simple. Fellow Taoist, please wait. Why so angry? Let's be friends. Ji Langshan still continued. Let me give you some pointers. After hearing this, Hanju became angry. This guy is shameless. Cut the chatter. I am a talent from the Celestial Immortal Mansion. I am never afraid. Hanju did not waste any words, instantly attacking Ji Langshan. He could not resist for 3 seconds. A voice called out to him. Hanju was surprised to see a golden dragon flying over, protecting an elder and Ji Langshan's spirit. The elder arrived after the conflict. Hanju spoke coldly. I do not seek trouble, but I do not fear it either. The elder sighed. The fellow Taoist is right. This trouble is Langshan's fault. I apologize on behalf of my mistaken disciple. The elder's tone was sincere, highlighted even more against the backdrop of the golden dragon. Could the dear Taoist grant me a favor and allow me to take him away? Hanju did not intend to kill. Can I trust the dear Taoist's word? Sure enough, the reply came. Suddenly, the system notified. Taoist Ji Kong has developed a favorable impression of you, currently at 3 stars. Hanju feigned calm. May I know the name of the dear Taoist? Loki, came the reply. The elder praised the name. Then he left with Ji Langshan, leaving the sect territory already pure. Ji Langshan began to feel fear. I couldn't even withstand a single blow from Hanju, he thought. Taoist Kong explained. If he hadn't intentionally spared his primordial spirit, not even I could have protected you. Ji Langshan was shocked. But master, you are in the tribulation crossing realm. As a clone, I was fortunate that the heavenly dragon's true body protected him. But if he had used his full strength, I'm afraid not even the heavenly dragon would have been able to resist. Ji Langshan was dumbfounded. Daoist Ji Kong saw that he had gained some understanding and thought to himself, the child has grown up. However, Ji Langshan quickly gathered his energy. In the future, I must challenge more sects like this. Only by doing so can I deepen my understanding that there are people beyond people and heavens beyond heavens. He suddenly realized what his master had done for him. Why, master? I only left for a short while, he asked. Idiot, who do you think has been saving you every time? Since Jilin Zhang's last challenge, another 5 years have passed. During this time, the Pure Jade sect has flourished peacefully, collaborating with the Blood Flame Heavenly Gate. Inside a quiet secret room of the Pure Jade sect, Maju, who was betrayed by Hanju, is still detained. Thanks to Hanju's instructions, her cultivation has not been neglected. Now, she has reached the 8th level of the Golden Core realm. Maju frowned deeply, an aura of determination between her brows. To free herself and avenge the Mo family was her fervent wish. Why wait any longer? Your clan brother, Mafushu, still needs your help. A strange voice continued to echo in Maju's ears, like a tormenting ghost, causing her body to tremble and her mind to lose focus. After a long moment, Maju suddenly opened her eyes, suppressing her fear with anger. Who are you? Get away. I don't want you. You don't represent me. Touching, Maju suddenly spat out a mouthful of blood, panting heavily, sweat dripping down her handsome face. I clearly followed the Mu family's ancestral techniques, so why does this technique cultivate demonic energy? The voice in her mind now sounded demonic, even claiming to be from the family. Because the Mo family truly followed the demonic path, Maju hesitated to rebuild her cultivation technique. The voice continued to tempt her, seemingly wanting to impart the technique to her. If I rebuild, who knows how long it will take? She couldn't help but think of Hanju. Back then, I reached the foundation before him, but now Hanju's cultivation is incredibly high. Finally, I have hope of catching up to him and I don't want to give up. Meanwhile, in a dark canyon, Su Qi was meditating, enveloped by demonic energy. He had abandoned his previous techniques and began cultivating the Demon Lord's demonic energy. His cultivation was rising rapidly, and surprisingly, he resonated with the Demon Lord's demonic techniques, surprising even the Demon Lord himself. As a human, achieving this is truly beyond my comprehension. But what's been happening recently? Have I reached an impasse in my cultivation? The Demon Lord demons were satisfied with Suki's cultivation, but dissatisfied with himself. My cultivation is always disturbed by inner demons. I haven't been able to cultivate properly. It's so annoying. He stood up and said, you stay here and cultivate diligently. This place is protected by a formation that I set up. No one will dare to disturb you. Suki opened his eyes asking in confusion, where are you going? I'm going out for a walk, to massacre some sects and ease my mind. With those words, the Demon Lord turned into demonic energy and dissipated on the spot. Suki hesitated. Should I take this chance to escape? Never mind, I should focus on my cultivation. The fact that the master didn't act suggests that he also wants me to take this opportunity to seriously cultivate in seclusion, instead of always needing his intervention. Thinking of this, Su Qi cheered up her spirits and continued her cultivation. That same month, the Pure Jade sect received a distinguished guest, the sect master of the Formless sect, the Enlightenment Eccentric. He asked Dong Wang Xian to stand outside the gate of the Pure Jade sect while he entered first. Just in case. It's good to have someone watching my back. As the sect leader, Li Qinzi had no choice but to step forward. The elders had also gathered at the gate, including Labumi and the light-headed individual. They thought that the Enlightenment Eccentric had come to seek revenge, but to their surprise, the Enlightenment Eccentric was very polite, declaring that his visit was to clear up a previous misunderstanding. Seeing that he had no hostile intentions, Li Kingsley could only welcome him inside. I wonder where your sect's God Slayer elder is. I had a little misunderstanding with him before and would like to visit him personally. A feud with Elder Hanju. This statement truly surprised everyone. At this moment, Xiao Yao bowed and said, God Slayer Elder invites the Enlightenment Eccentric to the Aseptic Immortal Mountain. For a chat, Li Kingsley said, since God Slayer Elder invited you, I will take you there. The Enlightenment Eccentric smiled coldly. Their purpose for the visit was far from simple. Soon, the two of them arrived at the base of the Aesthetic Immortal Mountain. The Enlightenment Eccentric could feel the rich spiritual energy around. This is a good place for cultivation. What brings you here, senior? Hanju suddenly appeared before them, his hands behind his back. What a handsome man. Seeing Hanju for the first time, the Enlightenment Eccentric was taken aback by his charm. In an instant, His expression changed to one of solemnity, his eyes revealing murderous intent. I have heard of the Pure Jade sect's killing God Elder and have come to visit. Furthermore, I wish to resolve any disagreements between us. Please sit down, senior. What disagreements are there between us? Although Randio spoke politely, he had already made his decision. This old turtle has entered the pot. Now we won't let him out. The Enlightenment eccentric has begun. Previously, I didn't know that Miss Xing was your cultivation partner. I had indeed offended her. It was my mistake. Therefore, after the already pure sect took over the Blood Flame Heavenly Gate, I did not continue to activate. As a form of my apology, Hanju pretended to be confused. Is that so? Then I thank fellow Taoist. Let's let bygones be bygones. Hanju thought to himself, in your life too. Suddenly, the system notified. The Enlightenment eccentric's hatred for you has increased to 5 stars. Damn, from 4 stars to 5 stars. You must really want to tear me apart. Furthermore, I have been frequently cursed over these years. Is this your doing, fellow Taoist? Hanjo didn't dare admit it out loud, but his hand holding the cup paused. Here to clear things up, asking fellow Taoist to not take out his anger on me anymore. I won't disturb Miss Xing anymore. Xing and our 2 sects can establish a friendly relationship. A curse? I am an upright person. How could I engage in such despicable acts? Furthermore, we have never met. Then how could I curse you? Hanju feigned innocence. This guy has something. I was able to guess that it was me who cursed him. Hanju thought. No, this person cannot be left alive. The Enlightenment eccentric inwardly cursed Hanju's shamelessness. With so many coincidences, if it wasn't you, then who else could it be? At the same time, he was estimating Hanju's strength. Although Hanju was equipped with spirit treasures, he did not emit an aura that alarmed him. Should I take this chance to kill him? His refusal to admit it shows that he fears my presence. Although he has many spirit treasures, they do not pose much of a threat. Even in a fight to the death, he could not kill me. With my divine ability, 9 tribulations, as long as my primordial spirit exists, my body will never perish. He cannot win a war of attrition. If I eliminate him, both the Jadapura sect and the Blood Flame Heavenly Gate will fall into the hands of my formless sect. This thought in the Enlightenment eccentric's mind grew uncontrollably like wild grass. Fellow Taoist, we don't need to pretend anymore. I'm not here to seek retaliation, the Enlightenment eccentric said with a smile. Notified again. The Enlightenment eccentric's hatred for you had increased to 5.5 stars. Damn, it's still rising. The Enlightenment eccentric's hatred could no longer be contained and he instantly mobilized all of his spiritual power. Unknowingly, countless 6 Paths Supreme Seals had already shot towards the Enlightenment eccentric. Hanju's eyes were cold as he took a sip of hot tea. Outside the cave, Li Qingzi, Sun Qiangang, Yang Qiandong, and Qi were all waiting anxiously. Sun Chang'an frowned and said, Master doesn't like to be disturbed. This isn't breaking Master's rule, is it? Li Qinzi looked somewhat embarrassed and said helplessly, the Formless sect master didn't forcibly enter the aseptic immortal mountain, which is quite respectful. I didn't have much of a choice. Suddenly, a boom echoed from the natural cave, shocking everyone. Tick turned into a burst of black lightning, dragging Li Kingsley into the natural cave. As they entered, they saw the Enlightenment eccentric standing at the entrance. Enlightenment eccentric. What did you do to Elder Han? Don't attack. It's me. Hanju's voice replied, causing the 4 of them to suddenly freeze. I annihilated his primordial spirit. Now it's my split soul that controls his actions. We need to act silently now. I'll take his body and leave. We mustn't let the Formless sect find out that we were the ones who killed him. Hanju explained. Li Qingzi was terrified. Understood. I will begin immediately. Spreading the news that the Enlightenment eccentric has already left, eliminating the Enlightenment eccentric's primordial spirit in just 2 moments. How strong is Elder Han exactly? In fact, Hanju had already simulated the battle 8 times before, discovering that the simplest way to deal with the Enlightenment eccentric was to annihilate his primordial spirit with the 6 Paths Supreme Seal directly. There is no time to waste. Sect leader, you should act now, considering everything. Hanjo now has no formidable enemies. The vermilion bird is in the skies, and the demon who subdues monsters is in the far northern region, Li Qinzi stated. He doesn't know whose doorstep to leave the Enlightenment eccentric's body at. If all else fails, just pick a random demon clan to take the blame. At this time, Dong Wangshan and others, following orders, were still waiting outside the Pure Jade sect. Seeing the Enlightenment eccentric rushing out, Dong Wangxian immediately chased after him. Before his death, the Enlightenment eccentric's union spiritual power was untapped, and with Hanju's soul controlling it, the Enlightenment eccentric's body was able to fly at full speed. Dong Wangxian couldn't keep up. In order to get rid of them, Hanju accelerated to the maximum and zoomed away, disappearing without a trace. Half a month later, with the spiritual power in the old monster's body almost exhausted, Hanju, controlling the Enlightenment eccentric, arrived at a deep mountain. He left clues that would raise suspicions about the formless sect disciples with the last shred of hope. Hanju, who was the first to leave the sect, was the first to leave. Before he withdrew, his clone, Dong Wangxian, who was following the trail, discovered that his master had entered the territory of the great sage of the Green Python, a figure they could not afford to provoke. Dong Wangxian flew on a sword, frowning as he discerned the direction of the Enlightenment eccentric. Suddenly, two figures appeared in front. Surprisingly, Zhou Fang and Ma Fuchu. The three of them passed by each other, and for some reason, Zhou Fang and Dong Guangxian inexplicably turned their heads to look. Upon seeing each other, both parties felt an inexplicable palpitation. As if they were facing a natural enemy. The group hesitated, each disappearing in opposite directions. Zhou Fan said to Mafuchu, "That guy just now pissed me off. I want to beat him up." Mafuxu replied, not amused. "Can't you be so impulsive? Following you, I've suffered so much. Don't you have any sense? We're just returning to the Pure Jade sect to visit old friends. Don't make trouble, Zhou Fangyu. I really want to see the faces of those people in the Pure Jade sect when they see us, especially Hanju, inside the unheard of cave." Renata, Hanju was checking the Enlightenment eccentric storage rings. This guy being the master of a sect was really worth it. For the storage rings, Hanju almost drooled as she counted. All these treasures and resources are enough to establish a sect. If they were given to the sect already pure, they would certainly take off even faster. But Hanju wouldn't be so selfless. "This delivery guy is too good. All of this is mine." As Hanju was happily playing with various treasures, Li Qingxi's voice came from outside the cave. "Elder Hanju. There's trouble in the secret room. Maju has fallen into demonic insanity and is wreaking havoc. All beings in the vicinity of the secret room are on the verge of being massacred." Has fallen into demonic insanity. Will she follow? In Mafuxu's footsteps, Hanju opened the panel. The most eye-catching notification was, her friend Maju has awakened her demon soul, fallen into the demonic path, and her desire to kill has greatly increased. Demon soul awakened? What's this? At this moment, Maju was sitting cross-legged in the secret room, surrounded by a completely black demonic energy. Mubru. The demonic energy enveloped Maju, who let out a cold laugh. Anyone who came into contact with the demonic energy would be instantly pulverized. Soon, Hanju arrived at the secret room. Everyone breathed a sigh of relief upon seeing him. Master Jingshu said, "Fortunately, the secret room is surrounded by protective restrictions." And the disciples kept their distance, avoiding disaster. But the protective array was torn apart by the demonic energy. However, it is strange that Maju sealed herself shortly after starting her rampage. Without any further movements, it seems that she did not want to harm the sect. The demonic energy in front of Hanju completely enveloped Maju. This does not look like a seal, but rather like a cocoon. Master Jingshu asked Hanju anxiously, "Could there be an even bigger outbreak?" Hanju replied, "Easily breaking through a protective array that defended against spiritual transformation and void realm fusion experts. This demonic energy is not simple. Immediately evacuate the disciples within 10 miles of the secret hall," Hanju instructed. Master Jingshu acted promptly, leaving Hanju alone to watch over Maju. He approached the demonic energy cocoon, trying to probe, but could not sense Maju's presence. This demonic energy has a strong resistance, Hanju thought, puzzled. Maju hasn't reached the nascent soul stage, yet the demonic energy she cultivated has this resistance? Oh no, could there be someone else inside? At such a crucial moment, only one thing can be done. Hanzhou used the sword finger to break through the mysterious boundaries of heaven and earth, and a ray of golden light shot out, shattering the cocoon formed by the demonic energy. Indeed, Maju was inside. And to her shame, she was bare, her snow-white skin dazzling to the eyes. The moment Maju's body hit the ground, Hanju immediately took off her robe and rushed to cover her quickly. Hanju continued to probe Maju in her arms. There were no other souls in her body, meaning she was not possessed. In the 6 realms of reincarnation, Hanju sent her primordial spirit into Maju's soul, finding it undergoing transformation, becoming different from that of a human. What exactly is the origin of the Mo family? Mafuxu has also fallen into the demon's path before, Hanju thought, as Maju slowly opened her eyes. She was not frightened. Instead, she looked at Hanju with a dazed expression. By now, Maju had become even more beautiful than before. Her most seductive charm, enough to make most men's hearts flutter. "Wait, the color of your pupils is strange. But why was there no tribulation?" Hanju asked in surprise. However, as if Maju didn't hear him, she removed the robe Hanju had placed on her, and continued to approach him with those mysterious purple pupils. Slapped him, sending Maju flying from one side of the secret hall to the other, breaking several pillars in the process. Awakened by the shock of pain, Maju muttered, "Ouch, who hit me?" Turning her head, she saw Hanju. "Why are you here?" Coming to her senses and quickly realizing her state, Maju exclaimed, "Hanju, you pervert, you saw me. You have to take responsibility for me. From now on, I will cling to you." Hanju looked helpless. "Are you trying to trick me?" After a fit of crying, Hanju began to inquire about demonic energy. "What's with your family, anyway? Why did you become a demon?" With a wronged expression, Maju said, "I don't know either. Ever since I entered the Golden Core realm, I have frequently heard a voice during my cultivation. At first, I thought it was an inner demon, but recently I discovered that it wasn't. After checking the secret texts left by my family, I discovered that it was the will of my ancestors. The Emo family is not just a demon cultivator in the cultivation world, but the true demon race. After the extinction of the race, their demonic technique spread among humans, thus creating the demon cultivators. My Emo family is descended from the union of the demon race with humans." He asked with narrowed eyes. "Will you lose control?" He calculated how many slaps it would take to save her, in case Maju went crazy and started killing. Rolling her eyes, Maju said, "Why would I lose control? Demon cultivators easily lose control because their bodies cannot withstand the demon's power." At this moment, Hanjo suddenly received a system notification. "Moi Ling has developed hatred for you, currently at 3 stars. Hanju immediately checked interpersonal relationships to obtain information about Moi Ling. Moi Ling, 5th layer of the Tribulation Crossing stage, 2nd generation of the family. Trapped in a mysterious forbidden area and unable to escape, she chose Maju as her successor, hoping to rely on Maju to save herself. Due to Maju's feelings for you, she harbors hostility towards you, believing that you may be an obstacle to Maju's growth, intending to eliminate you. Current hatred level, 3 stars. Hanju silently added your name to the book of misfortune. Does Maju have feelings for me? Really? Maju asked hesitantly. Would you like to practice that dual cultivation method with me? It would be beneficial to both of us. Hanju replied. No, thank you. You just made a breakthrough. It's best to consolidate your cultivation first. And don't forget to return my cape. It's the only one I have. I really can't understand why Moiling, a tribulation crossing stage cultivator, would rely on someone at the nascent soul stage. It's impossible for Maju to not be influenced by the ancient demonic techniques she's aligned with. In order to ensure that Maju can cultivate in peace, it seems like I'll have another daily task, Hanju pondered. Xin Hongxian smiled and said, Husband, I went to the Western Abyss province to train while I was away from the Great Devourer. A bunch of heavenly materials and earthly treasures as a greeting for you. Do you know him? Hanju thought to himself. Old Huang is quite considerate. Husband, there's something else. I found this in the lands of the demon race. I saw 2 demon kings fighting over it. Then it should be a heavenly material or earthly treasure. I managed to catch it while they were both injured. This grass looks extraordinary. I wonder if it's useful to you. Suddenly, Hanzhou received a system notification, detecting that this heavenly material and earthly treasure has the potential of a carrier of Ina destiny. Do you want to see its origin? Grass. This grass has become a spirit. It's called Heaven-Earth Grass. 1,000 years ago, it was just a simple blade of grass. It encountered a deity meditating nearby. And after being exposed to the deity's aura for 100 years, it gradually transcended its ordinary nature. Over the millennia, it has faced multiple extinctions. Each time, before being destroyed, it would instinctively turn to ash, scattering across the realm to be reborn. This grass has the potential to become a divine herb or even a deity. Hanju exclaimed, The potential of a deity? Xing Hongxian sighed and replied, I appreciate it, but I only realized how small the Great Devourer is after leaving. Hanju was intrigued when Xing Hongxian mentioned the list of the top 100 cultivators in the world. He explained that there was someone from the punishment department who used a giant sword as a skateboard, which was super cool, and another who took baths with a sword. Hanju then gave some high-grade elixirs to Xing Hongxian as an apology for the Enlightenment eccentrics. Considering his mediocre talent, Xing Hongshan was irritated by Hanju's concern about her longevity, saying that she had already taken the elixirs and still had heavenly materials and earthly treasures to increase her lifespan. She mentioned that it was rare for someone over 400 years old to still be at the Golden Core realm. Then, she talked about the passing of Lu Sanxin, Hanju's senior brother, 10 years ago. Hanju was surprised and regretted that he could not repay the care Lu Sanxin had given him in cultivation. He reflected on how Lu Sanxin was close to reaching the soul realm, but the Pure Jade sect had few life-extending medicines. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like it and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, so you don't miss the next chapters of this incredible story. And if you want to see more, just ask in the comments and I'll bring the next part soon. Thanks for the support and see you in the next video.